Yeah, if y'all don't know who I am, I go by Palm 215. I am this it's hard to explain. I have many different talents, or trying to master many different talents, from being a competitor at fighting games, a content creator, and now like I'm doing a lot of things as far as like videography. I'm also a part of a podcast called Just Frame. Shout out to the homie Red X and Mega Juice Man. MC. I make music. So yeah, I got a lot of different talents like under my belt.
I feel you. I feel you. And y'all, this is episode 2 of Feng Shui. Like I said, you got my boy Palm 215. Like I said,
Hmm.
he introduced himself. So we're gonna have a little casual talk before we get into everything. Just kind of walk me down the scene, the local scene from your perspective in your area.
Well, I live in Philadelphia. That's one thing that I forgot to say. I live in Philadelphia, and I can say that I'm from here because I moved from Florida when I was 13, because I lived in it's wild because I lived in Florida for a little bit. Then I moved to Georgia. I lived in Gwinnett County for maybe like a couple years. Then I moved back to Florida. Then I moved to Philly when I was 13. So but video games have always been a part of my life. I remember growing up, and the first system that I had was the Super Nintendo. So I was playing a lot of MK2 when I was young, but I didn't know what I was doing. Fast forward, I come to Philly. Philly is a city where it's a lot of it's a if you know you know type of city. So it has a lot of culture, but if you're not in it, you don't know that it exists. And it's like a gift and a curse, because in a way it hones like the essence of what the culture is, as far as that particular community that you're a part of. So I could say the Philadelphia community, as far as like fighting game wise, our local scene, I think, is pretty healthy when it comes on to Tekken and Street Fighter. So it's just like as many different places you can go locally. Like you have like Shadow Royalty that runs a lot of Street Fighter tournaments. You have Iron Fist Philly that runs a lot of the Tekken part as far as like our Tekken scene in Philly. And then you have the lab that runs a little bit of everything from Street Fighter, Tekken to Blaze Blue to Third Strike to a bunch of different games. And then you we have our monthly Go for Broke that literally just runs a little bit of everything. So I could say, as far as like my city local scene, as far as fighting games, it's pretty healthy. We have like a myriad of different places that you can go to. So it's like you can pick your poison, or pick whatever you want to play.
Okay. Yeah, because we got right now, I think we got 404 Esports in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Uh, my scene is down in Macon, Georgia, Reboot Retro Arcade. And honestly, we've been growing like crazy, especially since Street Fighter 6 came out and then Tekken 8.
Yeah.
So we've definitely been growing because I came into the scene around 2019 and when Street Fighter 5. And back then, it's like we could barely get people to come out for Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
Guilty Gear, Tekken, people would come, but Street Fighter, it was times we would have tournaments in Street Fighter. We're doing like a 5-man round robin,
Yeah.
but ever since Street Fighter 6 has come out, like I've seen it as a sport. Our last tournament, I think we was almost at 50 players for a
Damn.
local.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Like,
starting to go crazy now.
yeah, trust me, like I understand. For me, it's wild because I could say I started like as far as competing in fighting games locally in 2016. And it's wild because a lot of people wouldn't expect me to compete in Street Fighter 5, but I did around the time. And I don't even like Street Fighter 5. After Tekken 7 came out, I just didn't I just left the game as a whole, because it was older games that I really like. If anybody know me, they know that how much I'm passionate about Third Strike and how much I really love the game. But when I got into the scene, it was like Third Strike wasn't the game. Street Fighter 4 was at the end, and Street Fighter 5 started coming up. But I understand exactly where you're coming from, because back in like 2019, like early 2019, that's when I think I like Iron Fist Philly first started, and it was hard to get people to come out because I think people was just so worried about going to majors they didn't really want to come out to locals like that. So just like what happened to you, it was like it was hard to even get 20 people to come out. Sometimes we go there and it's just 8 of us. Sometimes we went there, it was just 5 of us. You know what I'm saying? And I did
Yeah,
what I could. I did what I could to try to support the local scene as much as I could, and it was hard, and it was kind of depressing because I was like, damn, like why aren't we coming out to support? But I think once the pandemic happened, it kind of showed people that yo, we got to come out and really support our locals because it was something that we missed. We all missed offline. We all missed interacting with each other. So once everybody was able to come out and really be able to come back to locals, at like locals have the numbers have grown at locals a lot, especially within when Street Fighter 6 dropped, because just like what happened with you, like it happened with us too. We gained a lot of new players. A lot of new players started coming through. Now it's like we get 30 to 40 people that come out regularly. It's wild how much locals have grown since after the pandemic. But I could say with Tekken 7, because I spent a lot of time playing Tekken 7 when it was out. So from like I could say we had like ups and downs in Tekken 7, but towards like the end of 2019 is when I felt like we started to get more and more people to come out. And then when the pandemic got lifted, we was getting a whole lot of people to come through to compete in Tekken 7. A lot of new faces, and now that Tekken 8 is out and Tech and Street Fighter 6 is out, it's a lot of new people. And I like the new blood that's within both games. I could tell that a lot of these new players are very hungry in my city and they really want it.
yeah. Because I think the only thing that really good that came out of the pandemic on the from the FGC side of things is that it really showed these developers that yeah, your online needs to be on point.
Yeah.
Because before then, Street Fighter Five, I think Grand Blue, that's a couple more games that were all using what delay based net code,
Yep.
and they weren't implementing rollback. I think Guilty Gear might have been the only one that had rollback at the time.
Um. Uh. Nah. No. I don't think. I don't
I
think
think
Rev
Tekken
Two.
I think Tekken had it. I think Tekken 7 had some form of rollback, but it wasn't really like rollback.
You know what game actually had rollback and great netcode? Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Yeah.
It actually had it like in as well because I like gameplay wise, I will always go to bat for that game because it's actually really dope. But yeah, that game had rollback. But a lot of other fighting games didn't, and because of that, a lot of games did start to suffer. But I tell people all the time, quality wise, you can have good netcode, but if the game isn't quality, people aren't gonna care. I feel like you need like a balance of both. Because
Yeah.
even Dragon Ball Fighters netcode wasn't good at all, but just because people enjoyed playing the game, people
Yeah.
didn't care. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like the one thing about the pandemic, it did make the developers be like, all right, we gotta have good net code, and then all right, cool, we gotta like now most games are starting to develop them. Most developers are starting to develop the mindset of all right, like everybody likes playing on what they like playing on, so let's implement crossplay into it also, which I think that should be essential also.
Yeah. And on top of that, I don't know. It's kind of seemed like because the online scene, I think most people right now in the scene are complaining about the fact that the online scene is kind of taking over from like the majors and the locals and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I think that's probably the best thing is to have a healthy online scene and a offline scene, not just we all just go offline and we just really don't play online like that.
Yeah. Like I feel like they both can coexist. I don't have a problem with either or because I'm somebody that come from online. You know what I'm saying? But I still go offline to compete. Like I'll do both. Like matter of fact, I compete in both. I compete in online and offline, especially because every scene is not gonna have every city is not gonna have a local to go to. So that's why to me it's like competing online isn't bad, especially if you have good net code. Is not going to be bad because even in Third Strike, like most of the tournaments I competed in Third Strike has been offline. I mean online. It has been online. So even like, shout out to Southeast Throwdown. They decided to run online tournaments in Third Strike through Fightcade, and a lot of players have gotten a lot better, and a lot of people are, making the argument, oh, online versus offline, online players can't really win offline, but it's so many players that made that a myth, like now online players can win, because it was a Third Strike player that started on Fight K1, and he's won an offline Jazzy circuit event, which is the biggest Third Strike tournament you can win in the United States. So it's just like, you can't say that, because a lot of people try to make that an argument, because some of it is true, because certain things that if certain things online you can't get away with offline, but some people study and play the game so much that it doesn't really bother them whether they play all online or offline. Plus, a lot of us have to get our training through online.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we gonna do, not play at all until the next local?
I,
So it's like, and we don't have locals every single day of the week.
yeah, I think they look at it like, well, there's things you could get away with online that if we was in person, you wouldn't be able to get away with it.
Yeah,
But I'm just like, man, good players will rise to the top no matter if it's online or offline. If it's a good player, they're gonna be a good player offline or online. Like
that's
the
true.
only question I would have about it when it comes to like tournaments and World Warriors and stuff like that, it's like, okay, is this the actual person who's playing the game, or did they, pass the controller to their homeboy and let him play?
Yeah, that's the one thing that's the hardest part, because you don't know. That's the tricky thing about like online, is that sometimes you don't even know if somebody's cheating or not, because even on Fightcade they had to put out like a patch that that would read if somebody's using like an auto parry system through scripts,
Yeah,
because I didn't know that people was doing that, because I thought, I'm so big on accountability that I'm just like, well, like, damn, like, maybe I'm being too predictable. That's why this person could parry this, that, and the third. And then, like, because my homie was telling me, like, yo, people be cheating. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm just like, I don't know if nobody cheating or not, because I'm just like, I'm just so big on holding myself accountable. When I seen the emergency patch drop, I was like, oh wow. And then I played one person and it popped up at the bottom of the screen. Oh, like somebody's using turbo mode, losing this points, this points, this points, this points. Cause like Third Strike is big on, like, well, people who make 5K now are big on like the rank system, and big on just on trying to hone the community, and like on 5K period, it's not just Third Strike, but it's just like just the rank mode in there, that they want things to be legit. So if they feel like anybody's cheating in any type of way, they're gonna patch something out to make sure that nobody's cheating.
yeah. Well, that's how it should be, because I think they are. Because I know Tekken has a problem with that. People running scripts and
Yeah,
stuff in Tekken. I think even Street Fighter has a problem with people not doing it as much, but still like running scripts and stuff for like parry and you know, uh, like if you try to grab them, it'll just automatically break the grab.
yeah,
Because I've run into players like that. Like this, like you're basically breaking every single grab, every single tick grab. If I basically bait you into bait you into doing something, you breaking that grab. I'm like, something's going on here.
yeah. It's sometimes it's just hard to detect, and I thought they was only doing that in first person shooters, because a lot of people in FPS was saying like a lot of, you don't know if somebody's cheating versus if somebody's really that good. So it's just like to see it across the board. That's why it's kind of hard. That's why for me it's like I get my practice in offline and I do compete. Well, online I get my practice in online and I do compete in online tournaments. But for me, like I will always look at offline as your ultimate test to see how good you really are. Because it's a lot of things that play into off. It's a lot of things that play into offline that people don't even see. It's just like, do you get nervous? Do the crowd affect you? All of this stuff. Like when you're playing at home, you ain't got to deal with nobody really. You don't got to deal with nobody talking shit. You don't got to deal with the crowd being against you. You don't got to deal with the tournament nerves like that because you're at home. Of course, like you can still get nervous at home because I still do. I still get nervous if I play somebody online because it's like I don't want to do bad. But I think offline is the ultimate test because you can't cheat. Nobody can cheat at all. So it's just like it's you versus the other person, no scripts, nothing. This is just what it is.
Oh yeah, I definitely know that because I remember going to my first couple of tournaments, and really more so recently, just getting to that point where it's like, oh, like just being in the midst of the game, and it just like, why am I so nervous? Why am my hands shaking? Like I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but it's just like
Yeah,
it's like the pressure of just everybody focused on you while you're playing. It just like kind of gets in the back of your mind, where it kind of makes you start doubting yourself.
yeah.
What?
Because trust me, like I've been there and I still some of the times get that nervous as well because I thought it was at one point I thought I was the only one. Like my hands be shaking. My hands used to shake super crazy because it's like I don't want to look bad. I don't want to look horrible or whatever, but I practiced and this, that, and the third. And then you realize most of the time it's you in your head, and on top of that, I've learned too, sometimes that nervousness can make you better depending on how you channel it, because it did make me better at certain points. I feel like for me, and I don't know if you feel the same, but I feel like for me, I think it's the difference between me playing in a tournament versus me playing at home. I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm somebody different offline when I'm playing in a tournament versus somebody playing online or even on stream, because when I play in a tournament and I look back at the footage and I'm looking at how I'm playing, I'm like, I wish I could play like this all the time. No, I'm like, yo, why can't I play like this all the time? I don't know what it is.
Oh yeah, it's more like the reverse for me. It's like when I'm at home just playing, it's like okay, I'm cool, calm, collected. I'm taking on master players and just blowing them up. But then I get into a tournament, it's like all of a sudden my hands are moving faster than I'm thinking.
Yeah,
It's like I'm just messing up combos, and then I get frustrated at myself because I'm dropping stuff that I don't normally drop, and then it just gets me in that point where I'm just like frustrated. I'm frustrated at myself because I'm dropping stuff, and now I'm starting to play worse because and the worse I play, the more frustrated I get at myself, and
yeah,
I'm just like, okay, I need to just chill out and not take this so seriously.
yeah,
And it would surprise me because DreamHack this year in Atlanta, I applied for Guilty Gear. I play it, but I don't really play it super duper hard.
yeah,
But it was crazy to me how I almost made it out of my pools, and I was like, I wasn't even expecting to go as far as I did. I lost in like loser semifinals,
yeah,
and I'm like, if I had won two more, I would have made it out of pools. And then like I wasn't even putting in the time into Guilty Gear like that. And I'm like, imagine if I had put the time into this game like I was supposed to.
yeah,
But it's just one of those crazy things where I'm starting to get to the point, even when I go into tournaments now, I'm just more relaxed about things. It's like the
yeah,
nerves are kind of going away. It doesn't really bother me as much.
yeah,
Even the guys in my local scene, they notice it. They're like, you're playing a lot more, calm, more patient. You're not really stressing out about it. And I'm like, I don't really know why I'm not doing it. Just I don't know. It just all of a sudden I just stopped caring so much about about what people had to say or what they thought how I was playing.
yeah.
But
Because I think
go ahead.
I think that's the one thing that I was going through too, is just like caring too much about like looking bad in front of people or whatever. But it's like when you start off you're gonna like, and I think it just comes with like just accepting, like when you start off you're gonna be bad. It's not like you're gonna start off and be godlike, but just having that mindset of just not caring about what other people think, if regardless if you do good or do bad, as long as you play your best, that should be, as long as you felt like you play your best, that should be that should be your goal. Like I play my best, and you should just be satisfied with that, regardless if it's a win or a loss. If you feel like it's something that you can improve on, then just go home, go to the drawing board, or go to training mode and just lab it, or just try to figure out or review your footage.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I've been doing more so lately. Just going reviewing stuff. And then when I start to look at it back, I'm like, okay, I did that. I missed the DP here. I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have tried to jump in on him on this angle. I really start to see more of the mistakes I made
Yeah.
just looking at replays. And I know a lot of guys are like, man, I don't like looking at my replays. I'm like, that's actually helped me looking at my replays and being able to just detach myself from it and just say, okay, look at this replay, analyze it. What did he do that you didn't, that you couldn't stop? And it's like nothing he did that you couldn't stop. You just were making bad decisions at the worst times.
Yeah.
But I do want to get into something else because you brought it up earlier. Uh, Majors versus the local scenes, and how people are basically saying, well, maybe the majors should be more pro only, more so than just an open bracket. I don't know if you would think that would be a good idea for it to be just more pro only tournaments and less open bracket, or would it be more of a, would it hurt the community itself more so?
Um, I think certain tournaments should be invitational. I don't think every single. I don't think all majors should be should I don't think all majors should be like a closed bracket or just have just pros. I think some majors should be pro only. Like I think Evo should I think Evo both Evo should be pro only. I think you should I think just so I'm not gonna lie, just so things can move a little bit faster or whatever because those are 3 days Evo. And if they have like a because we already have like certain invitationals, because if you think about, and they can have like a LCQ, so I think Evo should have that. And then like the Tekken finals is that where it's an invitational, so it's just like you have to earn points to get it, to get a certain slot. So it's like the Tekken finals have that, like the Capcom Cup has that. So I think certain tournaments should have that. Even the Red Bull qualifiers, like the qualifiers was that, like they would have like damn, qualifiers was so dope, man. I don't know if you were around the time where they did have the Red Bull qualifier.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Yeah, so it's just like the Red Bull qualifiers was so fire because it's just like you had to qualify, and then you would be a part of like the invitational in a way. So I do think certain tournaments should be pro only, but I don't think it should be majors. I think it should be like the Tekken finals. Evo should be shit, like it should be that. I think it Tekken finals and Evo should be that. But as far as like Combo Breaker and other tournaments, no. I think Combo Breaker, CEO, and all the other majors should still be open bracket. But I think Evo and even like the Tekken finals and stuff like that should continue to be pro only, or just an invitational where you have to earn points. And if they bring back the Red Bull qualifier, I think it should stay like that. I think even if they have like, if they choose to have like regionals, I think regionals should be pro only. Certain tournaments to me should be pro only, where it's like you gotta earn points. I think it should be a point system rather than it just be a pro. I do think it should be a point system.
Yeah, I can see where you coming with that. Like Evo,
Yeah.
Evo, I could say I don't want to. I wouldn't want it to be a pro only because that's like your the mecca of fighting games where where everybody from around the world can come and compete and play. But I do agree there should be some tournaments because you have what EWC, you have like the tournament they have over there in what's that Saudi Arabia they had was, which is invitation only. Red Bull Kumite is invitation only. So it's like they have tournament. It's more so they're trying to say, well, like stuff like what you were talking about, like CEO, Combo Breaker, those kind of tournaments, they should be just like more invite only. And I'm like, that wouldn't
Yeah,
make any sense because financially that would basically like pretty much kill those tournaments.
yeah. Like I think that would kill those tournaments. I don't think they should do that. I just still think they should have open brackets for majors, because to be honest, it's like you never know. Like it might be a killer that might come through and just completely destroy the bracket, and you would have never saw it. Versus like us seeing the same pros, seeing the same people, which a lot of us, yeah, like we want to see certain pros and we want to see certain people play the game, but I think those should still be open bracket. I think when it comes on to Evo, maybe it should be like a pro only just for the main stage, not for any other game. Just because Evo now is the numbers are starting to get wild. So it's like, and now it's just even looking at like some of the videos and stuff. It's looking like Evo is more than just a tournament now. It's looking like it's a huge convention.
Oh yeah, it's getting to the point where it's almost like Comic Con now.
Yeah.
But
So
I just think that's cool though. It's like the
yeah,
fighting games are growing so much that we are like this is like a celebration of the scene. Just
yeah.
everybody to come together from all over the world, all over the state, and just get together. Hey man, we all love fighting games. We all want to see this stuff, and now we're just all in the same building with each other.
Yeah, because like even at like, I'm glad that like now we're at a point where every fighting game can live on as long as people stream it or people play it or they find a certain community with it. Every fighting game can live, and rather it be the old school or the new games, like every fighting game can live on and become something. Because in 2019 to me was kind of like the 2019 to me was kind of like a how can I say it, was like a test run to see if people really wanted to play like some of these old school games, because it was the first year that Third Strike had like the Jazzy circuit. They started creating different tournaments for other old school games also, even with Guilty Gear putting rollback into Accent Core, and they're putting Guilty Gear Accent Core on some of the main stage and putting rollback within Rev 2. So it's just like trying different things with these old school games to see like, do people really want to play these games? And 2019 was like, all right, like let's try these games to see, let's put these games on the main stage to see if people still want to play these games. And they see like, oh, people still want to play these games, because in Japan people play everything. So it's just like now, so in 2019 they saw, oh, Under Night has a strong scene. That's why Under Night for Evo in 2020, they were gonna have Under Night on the main stage in 2020, but the pandemic happened and it kind of messed Under Night's moment up. But their community was so strong with the game that they bullied their way into Evo, which to me was fire. So it was like, for me to see that every game can live on, rather it be an old school game, new game, rather it be an anime fighter, rather it be Tekken, Street Fighter, or DOA. It doesn't matter what game it is, that they can all live on. Because before then, back in like 2015, 2016, I played a multitude of games, and everybody was like, a lot of people were shitting on anime fighters, or they were shitting on people that play like other games other than Street Fighter or Street Fighter, Tekken, or MK. So it's just like, now it seemed like every fighting game can live on, to the point where people they support, to the point where like, if your game is strong enough, you get your own tour. And the tour to me is, just to bring it back, is like the invitational. Because even with Third Strike, right,
Hmm.
the Jazzy circuit, at the end you have to earn points to get into the Jazzy circuit finals. You have to earn points, but it doesn't mean that people still don't go to the Jazzy finals, because they still do. People still pull up and go, rather they made it to like top 16 of Jazzy circuit or not. You had to earn points in order to get invited to compete at the end of it. So I think that's dope that they created that for them. But just to see all of these other games still can live on, because I'm always pro this. I'm always pro, if you don't like the game, like the new game, then just play the older one that you love.
Yep. And
I'm
that
I'm
that
always
and that was probably like the most hype moment of Evo was Third Strike.
Yeah.
Cause that was crazy. I didn't know people were still loving Third Strike like that.
Yeah, like man, when I tell you like Third Strike is so much, and it's not even just Third Strike. A lot of games is loved in that magnitude. Like Guilty Gear Accent Core, I remember in the pandemic when they put rollback on the Steam version of the game, and how much people went back to play the game, and how that game was loved. And it was wild, because I remember watching Tasty Steve stream, and just the passion I seen in his face playing Guilty Gear Accent Core because he grew up playing it, and just how much love and passion, like, because sometimes you could see it, like the love and passion that somebody have for a game when you watch them play or you watch them stream it, like, damn, this person really has so much passion for the game. And taste to see that within Tasty Steve, I was like, oh, this was really his game. So it just like to see that within Guilty Gear Accent Core, to see it within Rev 2, and to see it within all like older fighting games or just fighting games in general. Like, I'm just like, yo, like, it's dope to see people actually play the game that they really do love or whatever, and not force themselves to play a game that they don't like because it's like, damn, I really hate this game. That's why I'm pro, like, if you don't like this game, then just find something that you do like and just push that.
Yeah, kind of like what the pros were. They're complaining now, where they really like. With Street Fighter Six, I'm like, are y'all playing the game because y'all really want to play the game, or just because of the money? Because they seem to have the biggest complaint with Street Fighter Six and Tekken 8 and how it is. But it's just like, you just are y'all playing it because y'all want to play it, or you just playing it for the money? Because some of y'all just seem like y'all just playing it for the money. Y'all really don't like the game, but y'all don't want to say that because of sponsorship stuff like that. And it's just like, man, if you don't like the game, just say you don't like the game. There ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Um and that can become tricky because it's like people are looking at this like this is how they survive, so they feel like they have to play it. That's why for me, I've been struggling with like I've been struggling with the idea of getting paid for gaming, because I like when I look at art, because I feel like all of this is art too. When I look at art, I feel like once the business become a part of it, sometimes it takes away from the quality of it. So it's just like, this is something that I really do enjoy. I don't want the business to get to taint it to the point where it doesn't become enjoyable anymore. And for a lot of people, it's like if they go back to the older game, it's not going to be tangible. They're not going to get paid as much, so they're forced to play a game that they don't like because because they're getting paid. This is the way that they make money. And for me, that's why sometimes I much rather work a job and compete, because I don't want to get on this and be like, it's not enjoyable no more because I have to get top 8 at Street Fighter 6 even though I don't like the game. If I go back and play Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 4, it's not going to have as much money into it. But that's why I feel like you got, like, when it comes onto gaming too, you got to create different avenues for yourself, that way you won't be so reliant on a game that you don't like playing.
Yeah, because I'm like that myself. Like a lot of people are like, well, why don't you just stream fighting games all the time? Because you get decent numbers when you stream fighting game. I'm like, well, I don't want to play fighting games all the time, and I
Yeah.
and I don't want to lock myself into I have to play this or else I can't get my numbers. Because I've seen like a lot of pro player like watching their streams and stuff. And I'm like, when they're playing Street Fighter, Tekken, whatever, they got good number. They're talking about 500-600 people. They try to stream like they try to stream Splitgate, they try to stream Overwatch, they try to stream Valorant, anything like that. All of a sudden, they got like 40 some people in there watching. It's like I don't want to be so typecast to where I can't really play stuff that I want to play because I can't get money, I can't get paid for it. I want people to come in, like people to rock with me for me, not because of what
Yeah.
I'm playing.
Yeah, and I think the good thing about me is that, like, anybody that come by my stream or support me, they just rock with me because of me, not because I'm good at certain games. I mean, it starts off that way because that's how we bond. A lot of us come into this and we like, yo, like, this person plays fighting games too. But then as you get to know the person, you like, yo, I want to see this person win, regardless if they play fighting games or not. Like, I really rock with this person, so I want to support any and everything this person does. So it's a slippery slope. I just tell people all the time, just play the game that you like. Like, I like, to be honest with me, like, Street Fighter 6 is cool, but I like playing people in the game, but I'm not inspired to play it like that. Tekken 8 I don't like, but Under Night I'm in love with. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like me playing multiple different fighting games, or I'm willing to try multiple different fighting games. I can always find a fighting game that I like within the era. That's like, all right, cool. Like I'm not really like with Street Fighter when I didn't like Street Fighter 5, I went to Tekken 7. And I really enjoyed Tekken 7. You know what I'm saying? Street Fighter 6 came out. I like it. I think it's better than 5, but it's still certain things I don't like because I do feel like the input system is a little weird, but that's how I feel about it. So it's just like, but at the same time, I do compromise some of the time and I do compete at locals if they need me to. So if they be like, yo, like, just so we can get like a certain pop bonus, are you willing to do this, that, and third? I'm like, yeah. Like, it's certain shit about the game that I do like, so it's not like I completely dislike it because when it came on the Street Fighter 5, you can't get me to play that game for nothing. Like I'm like, nah, like I don't care if it's about even decreasing the numbers, I'm not gonna do it. But for Street Fighter 6, I'll do it. For Tekken 8, I might do it, but Tekken 8, like I don't know, I just really don't like it. But I found my love in Under Night where I'm like, yo, I really like this game. You know what I'm saying? Even like
Mm.
KOF 15, I really like the game a lot. Like I'm thinking about even going back because I feel like they made so much improvement. But I feel like there's so many ways people can pivot, and this is just my take with it. Like my take with like people playing games that they don't like. Sometimes they can go back, but then sometimes they have to be strong enough to understand that because so many people want to try so many different games, but they're so afraid to because they don't want to go to the I'm gonna be trash at it phase. They don't like some people don't want to start over. For some people it's that. For some people, and I tell people all the time, like people ask like, well, how can you learn multiple different fighting games? And I tell people because I'm not afraid to lose. I'm just not like sometimes it boils down to you have to lose in order to get better, and some people just don't understand. Some people don't want to go through that concept. Some people don't understand that concept. But I think if people were willing to just be like, you know what, forget these numbers, let me go play a game that I enjoy. Forget these numbers. Eventually the numbers is gonna climb. Let me just go play the game that I enjoy because it's good for my mental. Because regardless if you win or you lose, if it's a game you dislike, you gonna be like, it's not gonna be no enjoyment out of that, and people could see it.
Yeah, because with Tekken, I do like Tekken because around the end of Tekken 7, I actually started liking Tekken.
Yeah,
But then Tekken 8 came out, and I'm like, Jesus, this heat system is I this is something I don't know if I can deal with because this game is like overdrive aggression. And I'm like, I was so used to Tekken 7 where you kind of like you're poking, you're playing a little bit more defensive
yeah.
to now where it's just like, nah, there ain't no defense in this game. You just in
It's
each other face.
it's wild because like watching the Tekken finals, it is defense in the game, but it's more based on sidestep instead of backdashing. And even with Tekken 7 had a whole lot of aggression too. A lot of us forget online Tekken had a lot of aggression, especially if you fight in a character like Honrong in Tekken 7 that puts you into a blender and you have to guess.
Yeah.
Like in certain characters, like I remember when Geese first came out, Geese was busted. Geese throw out a parry and he's parrying and everything. Everybody else got a parry, I guess, like against like mids and shit. They can't really parry certain things. Geese is parrying all limbs. It don't matter if it's high, mid, or low. If he throw out a parry, you getting hit. I mean, he's absorbing it and he's going for big damage. And then so it's just like certain things in Tekken 7. I think backdashing in Tekken 7 was way better. Sidestepping in Tekken 7 wasn't good, but sidestepping in Tekken 8 is really good. It's just that to me, heat is not created equal within every single character. It's just not. Certain people characters heat is very good. Some are okay. Lee's heat is garbage. But what they gave to Lee that he didn't have in Tekken 7 like that was his damage output is really good in Tekken 8. His heat is very trash though. It's just like the only thing that he gets in heat is like you can do his just frame, you can mash out his just frame moves, but it's still unsafe. So like what does he get in heat? Some people get unblockable stuff, some people get way more pressure. So it's just like with heat, like I like the damage that they gave with the character, but I just don't like how like somebody pop like he feels like V Trigger, but it's not as bad as V Trigger because I feel like when somebody V triggers, if you win, you could lose. I feel like with Heat, if as long as you play the game well, you could still win against somebody's Heat. V Trigger, I just feel like when somebody V Trigger in Street Fighter Five, you losing. But with Heat, it's like it's instantly aggressive because the game is aggressive. It becomes way more aggressive than it needs to be with Heat. But they're making it more manageable to the point where if somebody Heat, you can sidestep and punish, but you gotta make the right read. That's why I'm watching people play in the LCQ for the Tekken Finals last week, and people would jab. They would jab and then sidestep. They would jab somebody with Heat. They would sidestep and then they would punish them for it. So they had patched the game to the point where they would make the Heat system more manageable to deal with. It's not like when the game first came out where Heat was just ridiculous.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what exactly is coming in this new patch that they showed off, because it looks like they did make some more adjustments to Heat from what I've been seeing on Twitter and stuff that people have been analyzing the video. But because I want to get back into Tekken, because Lydia's my favorite character, and I was kind of waiting for her. But then when I was playing Reina when the game first came out, I just like this Heat system is annoying, man. It puts you in those forced 50-50 mix-ups, and it's like I gotta guess for my life soon as somebody pops Heat, and
Yeah,
I just couldn't stand it. Cause it just felt like I had no options at the time.
yeah, like and they did all of this because they want the game to be more flashy. They want people to engage more. Um, I just think if they wanted people to engage more, they should have just did what they did without Heat, which is like just giving people stages with walls, not having any infinite stages. You feel what I'm saying? So I
Yeah,
think that was good, like having stages with walls, and just like, and I'm glad that the stages is not is not close because, and in Tekken 7, you buy a wall, people getting crazy damage. It's like you in a small stage and they got a wall. Like it was ridiculous in Tekken 7, but now
yeah,
I'm glad
it
that the
was from
state.
like game over.
Yeah, so it's like you can't backdash your way. Like you can't backdash infinitely in Tekken 8. Like you end up backdashing too much, then you buy a wall. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm glad that they did that, but at the same time, it's like to make backdashing as bad as they did, especially the fact that like anybody that saw me stream or was around me, seen how much I was working on my backdash to get it right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like to nerf movement like that kind of. It's like damn. It's like they made backdashing horrible, but sidestepping is godlike.
Yeah,
So it's like they gotta figure out a way because in Tag 2, a lot of people said that Tag 2 backdashing and sidestepping was really good. In Tekken 7, backdashing was really good, but sidestepping was bad. In Tekken 8, sidestepping is really good, but backdashing is trash. It's like they trying to find a medium, and all fighting games is becoming aggressive. Like with Street Fighter 6, the drive system. A lot of people don't like the drive system, which I get it because it's just like drive rush is ridiculous. I play DJ, so drive rush grab was ridiculous with him. He's fast, but I like the drive system as far as like the creativity that you could do in the game though, because I felt like in Street Fighter 5, I think Street Fighter 5, it took a while for it to get creative. I think it got creative towards the end, but in Street Fighter 5, everything was so bare bones. Everybody doing the same combos. Like it was no expression in the game like that.
yeah, you had no way you could really be an individual, because I couldn't tell you right now. I couldn't tell one Akuma from the next, because
Yeah,
like you were saying, everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's doing the same combo. Everybody's doing like the same punish. It's like there was no, you couldn't differentiate yourself from anybody else because the game didn't allow you to do that.
yeah,
Because if you tried to play any sort of different way than the character is supposed to be played, like when I played Sagat, I was a more aggressive Sagat, and they were like, "Well, you're not supposed to play him like that." But I'm like, "Why can't I play him like that?"
yeah,
Like it didn't make any sense to me why I have to play this way with this character. I can't play any other way. And that's kind of what towards the end of Street Fighter 5 kind of got me to the point where I was just so sick and tired of the game. I just didn't even want to play it.
yeah.
Like when I was streaming it, I would like be that would be like the only time I would actually touch the game was when
Yeah,
I was
I
streaming
think
it.
that's something that I do want to get into as far as like play styles because I feel like when it comes on to play styles, I don't like. I'm starting to feel like this, right? it's a difference between somebody having a certain play style versus somebody doing something negative and dying for it, right?
Yeah,
Because some people would say, "Oh, like you're supposed to play with this character like this." Well, who do you to say like how you supposed to play with a character? You know what I'm saying? Because this is what the character archetype is. I understand. It's wild when like what always baffled me, what I think is entertaining, is when a character archetype is supposed to be a certain way, but they play with the character totally different. Like for instance, like people that play with Kimberly, right, and in Street Fighter Six, like she's normally like a very aggressive character, right?
yeah.
The person at my locals that run our locals that was winning in the beginning with Kimberly don't even play her aggressively at all. Play with her so lame, but he was winning every single tournament with her. Like he played very aggressive and everything made sense. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, yo, it throws people for a loop. But I like stuff like that where people play with characters differently. Like at first, because even with me playing with Lee in Tekken 7, right? I was playing more defensive because he's a counter type of character. So I was playing to the archetype of how he was. My homie Red X didn't play with him that way. He played with him in a way that was very, very aggressive, but he understood the tools that could make him aggressive, which I didn't understand. And I was just like, yo, like why does shit that shit work with him, but when I try to be aggressive, it doesn't work for me because I didn't master that archetype with the character. I mastered a more defensive counterplay type of style with him that worked for me. I think when it comes on to play style, we all get mixed up within playstyle because we look at playstyle as if somebody's playing the character and using a bunch of negative moves. When no, some people can play with a character this way and they can make it work. You can come to a W in so many different ways in fighting games, but a lot of us try to boil down the character where the character is supposed to play with it. You're supposed to play with the character this way. I think Street Fighter Five kind of made it that way in the beginning where it was like this is how you're supposed to play Ken, this is how you're supposed to play this character, you know what I'm saying? And then towards the end they added more creativity to add in more combo routes and add in different V triggers to the point where it's like, all right, cool, you can play with a character any way that you want to. So I do think that we got to also look at like the different ways to play different characters, and on top of that, the best players can switch how they're supposed to play on the fly. That's what I notice is like the best players doesn't don't even have like a certain style. They don't master a certain style. They can play every single style according to the match on how they're supposed to play the person that they're playing against.
So would you say Street Fighter Six kind of falls into that? Because as much as I like the game, like when I
Yeah,
look at, I'm gonna use my character Jury. Like when I
yeah,
watch other jury play, I'm like, well, he's just doing the same. He's doing the same thing that every other jury do. Every now and again, I'll find a jury that's like he's doing some wild stuff with her. But
yeah,
for the most part, it's like, okay, well, do this, do this. Because I have a training partner, Twisted Jago, and we
yeah,
both play jury. I train with him sometimes, and he was just like, well, you're playing her too slow. You're like, what you mean? He's like, you need to be drive rushing. Just drive rush. Just do it. I'm like, why? There's like, there's no
yeah,
point for me to do it. It's like, no, no, no. That's how you're supposed to play her. Just drive rush. I'm like,
yeah,
so just raw drive rush for like no reason, just to do a light punch into like a block string. Like, yeah, that's how she functions. But I'm like, well, that's a waste of meter. To me, it's like that's a waste of meter. Like I'm just
yeah,
drive rushing for no reason. It just, I don't know. It
yeah.
just still feels like some of the characters kind of you have to play them this way, or this is the optimum way to play them. So that's how everybody plays them.
Yeah, I could say it depends on the situation. Um, like to drive rushing, you can it's a way to close in on the gap and to the point where you can, because a lot of people in Street Fighter 6 do mash on wake up. Like it is a thing. Like I have done it too. Like mash and jab on wake up. If you drive rush and you hit a certain button with jury, it alleviates the person being able to mash on wake up in a lot of different ways. So it makes sense. You don't always have to do that. Like in certain matchups, yeah, it makes sense. That's why I said certain people. That's why I say the best players know what to do in every single moment. You could still have your own play style. Sometimes to be optimal with a character, you have to do certain things. That's why certain combos you will see people do the same type of combos because it's the way to get the most optimal damage with the character, but that doesn't mean that you have to play with the character that way. But it does mean that maybe you're not drive rushing enough. Doesn't mean that you always have to do it. It means that you're not driving rushing enough. Like some people, when they knock somebody down or they do a combo that lands them a little bit apart, like lands like they have like some space in between it. Some people don't even drive rush. They know, all right, cool, I can dash 3 times and get closer to my opponent, but I have the time to hit a button so I can get my Oki going. Some people have mastered it. I watch people play so they can save their meter. And Jerry has a fast enough dash where she can close the gap, but a lot of people use drive rush in a way to close the gap because it's quicker and faster to use, and it's easier to get certain things off. So I don't feel like Street Fighter Six in a way. I don't feel like Street Fighter Six in a way does fall into it. I just think a lot of people fall in. A lot of the players fall into it because a lot of the players just do the same thing everybody else does.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so easy to beat certain people because you like for me I can create a game plan on how somebody's gonna play on all right, normally people do this and this, so I'm just like, all right, if people are gonna do this and this, I wonder if this is the same type of player that's gonna do this and this, and I look at it like, oh, it's predictable, this person plays the same way. You know what I'm saying? But then you always got that one person that plays the character completely different and it throws you off and you lose and you like, damn, that's because you're not supposed to go into the game. You're supposed to go, because I look at it like this, you're supposed to go into the match. You're supposed to go into the match knowing that the character can do this and this, but then also have in mind what is the person on the other side of the screen doing so I can adjust to them.
Yeah, because I've had that happen. Like I was telling one of the other friends, we were talking about Street Fighter. I'm like, man, I just fought this Bison, and I'm like, he's flow charting so heavy that he's just autopiloting into what is it? Stand medium, crouch medium, in the
Yeah,
scissor kick, then do automatically do crouch medium to frame trap me. And he caught me with it one time, and then he did the same combo again. I just stood there. He just did it again. I'm like, I blocked the whole thing. I blocked the scissor kick, and you just automatically went into crouch medium kick. I mean, crouch medium punch.
yeah,
I'm like, you're just flow charting so heavy with this character. Like, I just started basically sitting there, like, okay, I know what he's finna do. And every time he would do it, I would just punish him.
yeah.
And he would just keep doing it. I'm like, why would you keep doing this? You know, if you know I'm looking for it, why would you keep doing it?
Yeah, and sometimes because sometimes some people can't alleviate from their flow chart. Like I've been there too, and I've been on autopilot, and I do the same shit. And sometimes you don't even mean to do it. It's just that that's what you're used to doing. You know what I'm saying? But I've learned like you have to figure out other ways to adjust and other block strings or other things to do. Like maybe I shouldn't go for this. Maybe I should look for this. Maybe I should try to get somebody to do this, or maybe I should make it seem like I'm gonna do the flow chart, but I don't do the flow chart. You feel what I'm saying? Maybe I
Yeah,
should grab them. Maybe, like there's so many different ways. That's why I said the best players don't even have a certain set play style. They just know how to adjust to every moment, and they can switch play styles on the fly. You know what I'm saying? But it's some people that, but then you still have some players that master the art of like lame or master the art of aggression, and they win. Like it's so many different avenues and ways, and as far as like play style. That's why I feel like with Street Fighter 6, you can alleviate from that. You can have a certain play style, and this is how this type of person plays, or this person does this because for me it's like I don't always want to do the most optimal combo because I want to have my own combo that I do. Oh, this is the palm combo. Like this is not like I don't want to do like with Ryu. I don't always want to do heavy punch, heavy kick, heavy punch, heavy kick into this into that because everybody does that. I want to do something different. I might do like medium punch. I might do medium punch, drive rush. Like in the corner, I might do medium punch, drive rush into medium kick. If I'm charged, I'll do like I'll do like a Denjin fireball, EX fireball into DP into super, cause nobody else is doing it, and it looks flashy and looks dope. So it's just like for me, it's like I'm gonna do something different that add my own signature style to certain shit. Some people just don't want to do that, and they're wired the same like everybody else, or they watch somebody do some shit and they're like, all right, cool, this is how this person gets this W, so I'm gonna be robotic and do the same. I think I think people need to I think people need to develop their own personality in a fighting game like they do in real life. Like have your own set personality, play the way that you want to play, but at the same time it's a difference between you playing the way that you want to play and it's your style versus you throwing something out that's negative.
Yeah, but with Drive Rush, it's like sometimes I think it kind of hurts like new players because with Drive Rush, it's like I can throw out this negative button. I don't have to do it. I can just Drive Rush it. I'm gonna be +1 in your
Yeah.
face. And people don't really kind of learn like, okay, you might not need to throw that button out, or you need to learn neutral. You need to learn certain things. It's like, no, no, I can just throw this button out and Drive Rush behind it, and I'm good.
Yeah, but then you have like when it comes on a neutral, because I had to learn this too, like because I used to get mad, like damn man, like motherfuckers don't have no neutral, this, that, and the third. You have to force people to play neutral. You have to alleviate all the dumb stuff that they're doing, and then eventually they're gonna have to play neutral. You know what I'm
Like,
saying? So it's like I've learned that. Like it's so many it's wild because there's so many matches where I've learned that too because I have done it to people. And I remember when I was like at one point I didn't have neutral, and once it got taken away from me, it's like damn, what do I have? You know what I'm saying? Like some
yeah,
people, it's like people like jumping on somebody. It's not neutral in a way. Like they're jumping to be aggressive. All right, if you can't jump, how are you gonna get closer to your opponent now? All
yeah.
right, if somebody drive rush and they hitting a button and I perfect parry it and I grab you, all right, what are you gonna do now? If I DP a dive kick all the time, what are you gonna do?
Well,
It's like if like that's the one thing some people have to learn. Yeah, drive rush is busted, but if you figure out different ways or you know somebody's gonna do certain things, you force them to play neutral. Now, do they have a neutral game or not? It's up to you because it's like when it comes on the fighting games, it's up to the opponent and it's up to you to find somebody's weakness and run it to the ground. And I'm not gonna lie, that game that hurt the most, that did that a lot to me, was Tekken 7. And it's wild because people would do what people do in Tekken 7, but it just doesn't feel that bad. In Tekken 7, you know how many times I done got hit with a hell sweep by Kazuya like 3, 4 times. 3, 4 times hell sweep electric mix up. I felt like it was so stupid, but it was my fault because had I had alleviate that, then they would have to play neutral. Tekken 7, a lot of people forget Tekken 7. If somebody knows that you're losing to this and you can't stop this, that game is team run this to the ground until they die. Like that. I know you probably been through that before.
yeah, I definitely been through that before, and it does frustrate. It frustrated the hell out of me when it happened to me because like I can't I don't know what to do. And he's like he just keeps doing it and he keeps doing it. I'm just kind of trying to rotate through option to see what works.
Yeah,
But it's like the whole time it's frustrating. It's like, and then I've been on the other end of it. I'm like, oh, well, you're just gonna let me drive rush overhead every time? Okay, I'm just gonna keep. I'm just gonna keep
yeah,
doing it.
yeah. Because it's like and that's one thing that I really had to learn that, like trust me, it used to frustrate me all the time. It's like people ain't got no neutral, da da da, and then it's just like after a while I was just like, you know what, like I gotta start alleviating all of this stuff. I gotta start going into training mode and figure out what am I doing wrong, why am I getting hit like this, that, and the third, because that's the biggest thing that people, and it's like a lot of people think, like a lot of people were saying, oh, um a lot of people were saying like, yo, all these neutral skips, neutrals. Every fighting game had neutral skips. Every fighting game got neutral skips. Every fighting game got something cheap. I hate ST. People would swear by ST. I hate ST because that game, you really have to play that game within a lot and study that game within a lot to figure out why you keep getting grabbed. The damage is so high. You have random stun combos. You get randomly stunned sometimes. Like it's stupid. It's like in Third Strike. I love the game. I had to get used to getting unblockable with Urian. You can't let Urian start his game off. Urian grab you. You could be winning the whole match. If Urian grab you now, mid screen, you going for they're going for an unblockable setup. You got to parry the right way or whatever. It becomes a coin flip. But the thing I like about older fighting games is that people accept when their character is dumb. You know what I'm saying? They don't be like, because some people feel like when you say their character is stupid or they're dumb or they just do a lot of goofy shit, that it's a personal attack against them. It's like, no. Like Urian players will be like, yeah, I know that I know I turn a Street Fighter game into a coin flip. Like they don't like they accept it. Like for me, I knew DJ was stupid. I didn't shy away from it. I didn't say, oh, like nah, you're wrong or this, that, and third. No. I have drive rushed and grabbed people within a lot. I have drive rushed, back swayed, and made people DP and with. And now I'm punishing them for it. Like I know, like I accept it. So many people feel like when you talk about a character being busted, that it's a personal attack against them. Like nah, like certain like every fighting game has neutral skips, and every fighting game has a character that does not play neutral at all.
Yeah,
You know
like
what I'm saying?
yeah, like Ken and what's his name, Jinrai. I'm
Yeah,
like, I've been in matches with dudes just he Jinrai straight off the rip. The match just started. The first move he pulls out of Jinrai to try to get in, and I'm like, it's a neutral skip. Like he's just trying to get in.
yeah, and it doesn't take away from how frustrating it is, because it is. Like I like in Third Strike, I hate fighting Yun because I know what I'm gonna have to deal with. I know I'm gonna have to deal with. He's gonna get grenade and he's gonna pop grenade and I have to go to the other side of the screen and have the best defense in my life. Like I hate it, but when I do win those matches, but this is what makes it so good. When I do win those matches, those wins feel so much better. You know what I'm saying? Those wins
Yeah,
feel so much better when. That's why I much rather have the disadvantage because I want to win and you can't say anything. That's why I love playing Lee in Tekken 7 because what are you gonna say against Lee? What are you gonna say? Everything that I have to do is hard, including winning. Like everything, like the combos is hard. The me winning is hard. You got you got people with so much plus frames. You got people with wild rising launches. I don't have that. So if I win with Lee, what are you gonna say? The only thing people say, which I used to hate, oh, I didn't know the matchup. Well, who fault is that? You know
that
what I'm saying?
it's a lot of that going around when people lose.
Yeah, it's a lot of that. You feel what I'm saying? And then being on the other side of the fence when I'm playing DJ and yo, I am cooking people and I know the character's busted, I laugh. People make I hate hey DJ, this character busted. I laugh. I don't make no excuses for my character being stupid. No, DJ's busted. I know. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? And then when I started playing Ryu in Street Fighter 6, I'm like, damn, this character got back problems. I can't drive rush. He go back then forward. But it taught me something though. It taught me like when I switched from one character to the next because I purposely went from DJ to Ryu so I can improve my neutral. Because sometimes you gotta be real with yourself. I don't got no neutral. Like some people don't want to be, and that's the thing that
Like,
kills me
but
about like
sometimes people allow you to skip neutral because
that's
they
true.
either just suck at anti-airing or they just don't really they have a certain game plan, and if you do anything that deviates from their game plan, they have no idea what to do with themselves.
Yeah, like for me, like I suck at anti-airing. I kind of do, but I've gotten better at it because I went to practice. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, damn, like I played Third Strike so much to the point where anti-airing didn't mean shit because I got an air parry because I can air parry. So when going into Street Fighter 6, people could jump in on me all day and I couldn't get mad at nobody. I got mad at myself and I went to training mode and I was just I would make the character jump at me and I DP each time.
Yeah,
Both
bro, I use your training method that you had posted a while back for my DPs. Like I
yeah,
go into Street Fighter 6 and I go into the DP practice mode or anti-air
yeah,
practice mode and basically have the dummy go back and forth, jump at me. And I just kind of shimmy back and forth and just wait for it to do something and try to keep myself from jumping when it's kind of faking me out. Like I use that and people are like, why are your DPs like so good? Cause we went to a
nope,
tournament and people are like, dude, you're like consistently DPing a Cammy dive kick.
yeah,
And I'm like, well, I can't even do that. Like, yeah, I go in and I practice 10 minutes to 20 minutes every day, just doing that. Not
yeah,
doing anything else, just practicing certain stuff. And I'm like, it actually helps. Where people seem like they just like, I don't really want to practice. I just want to, jump into the game and start playing. I'm like, nah, some of this stuff you really actually need to get into your muscle memory and get to the point where when somebody jumps at you, it doesn't surprise you. Like, oh, they just jumped at me. Like, nah, it's like,
yeah,
okay, you jumped, okay, DP.
yeah.
But
That and as well because I used to be that player that just wanted, because don't get me wrong, certain things do require for you to jump into the game and practice, because I think learning neutral and learning your spacing is it, like you have to jump in the game in order to improve your spacing and neutral. But like something like DP, and I knew I had to go in training mode to really figure it out, or just seeing what I was doing that was wrong, or seeing somebody throw something out and be like, all right, cool. Like, because I'm not gonna lie, Tekken was the game to that made me more of a lab monster. Tekken did it, because if you don't know something, you don't know something is duckable unless you like, unless you go into training mode, or you don't know if this might be punishable unless you go into training mode and actually lab it. So Tekken made me that, and for real, like going in, like I'm glad that I am the person, like, and I do want to say, like, I appreciate that you did get inspiration and did that, because that's what I do it for, and that means a lot to me, and that shows me that I'm doing the right thing. Because sometimes I really do it a lot of times to inspire other people, because people need to see like other people practice.
yeah, because right now I think I guess because combos and everything, everybody just wants to do the flashy stuff like
Yeah,
combos, doing these YouTube videos and stuff. And I'm like, it's more to a fighting game than just flashy combos. Because sometimes the best thing in a lot of games is defense. If you have
yeah,
rock solid defense, it's hard for a person to open you up.
yeah,
But if you're like your defense is kind of just, it's just okay, and I know that you're not really that great at anti-air, then I'm gonna keep jumping at you. Okay, you DP'd me this one time, but you missed the DP like three other times.
yeah.
So I got more reward out of it for just jumping at you. So to me, I think people sometimes need to start focusing on the fundamentals and not just the fun part of the game.
Yeah, and I just think a lot of people do not they don't a lot of people do not a lot of these players that people watch, I don't think a lot of them show themselves practicing as much as they should. Because if they see pro players doing it, then they'll more likely to be reluctant to do it. But and I think to a lot of people, not even I think, a lot of people, training mode is boring. To watch somebody practice something over and over again, as far as like how to DP something, is boring. I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just like, people need to see this. People need to see what it takes. You know what I'm saying? I get inspired through watching somebody find something. I get inspired. Like, I can find the most smallest thing in a fighting game entertaining. So like, if I see somebody go into training mode and they figure out how to do it, that's entertaining and inspiring to me. But I know to the vast majority it's not, because people want to see you jump into the game and just be godlike.
Yeah,
But they don't even know what goes into it, and they don't know they don't know what goes into it. That's why I think these pros need to start showing people that this is what it takes. They need to start showing, because those people, be real with you, are gonna stay within their stream regardless, because they like them that much. I'm not trying to. And for me, back then, I'd have been like, they're dick riders. I would have said that, but it is true. They're gonna stay in their stream regardless of how much they practice. And if these pro players was to do that more people will be more inclined to try to learn neutral and not complain as much, because people complain so much. That's why I like these older fighting games, because ain't no patch coming out to save you. It's either get good or get off the game.
yeah. 'Cause I look at Punk and I'm like, some of his behavior I don't particularly jive with, but when I
Yeah,
look at that dude, I'm like, bro, you can't help but respect this man work ethic. This dude streaming like 8, 10 hours a day.
yeah.
Every single character is legend rank or master rank. Like, do you know how much time and work you have to do to get characters all the way up there like that?
Yeah,
Like, it's like, man, you got to respect the dedication this man put into like his craft.
yeah,
And that's just the crazy thing to me. It's like, 'cause I looked, I said, man, I don't even know if I could do 8 to 10 hours a day.
yeah. Like, I don't know if I can either. I want to be able to. I know, no, no. I know that I can. I don't have the time right now, but if I had the time, I know that I can, because I know the type of person that I am, and if I get dedicated to something, that I can do something like that. Because even going to the gym, I didn't think that I could be dedicated to that, and I was. You know what I'm saying? Even putting an hour a day in the backdash and attacking, like I put, like, I know that I can do 10 hours a day if I just put my mind to it. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta have a mindset. You gotta have a mindset, and you gotta want it. And some people don't want to admit that they don't want it like that. Like, and that's hard for a lot of people to admit that they don't want it, and there's nothing wrong with it. I respect it. Like, most people won't. Like, you'll have the small majority that will admit if they want it or not. Like, it was this one dude that came by my stream, and he was just like, yo, he was honest. He was just like, man, like, he was like, to be honest, he was like, I wish he said he wished he had the same drive that I had. Like, he was just like, I just don't want it, and he was just like, and he said that he was okay with that, and I wasn't mad at it. I respected it because at least he's being honest with himself. You know what I'm saying? So many people don't want to
Yeah,
be honest with themselves and say like, yo, I don't want it like that. That's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, every fighting game, I don't want to be great at every fighting game. Killer Instinct, I don't want it. So I stay away from Killer Instinct because it's like, nah, like, I know I don't want it. So I just stay away from it. But I'm honest and be like, nah, in Killer Instinct, I don't want it. In Third Strike, I want it. In Street Fighter 6, I don't want it. And Under Night, I want it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's like a lot of it's like you gotta be real with yourself. Are you willing to really put in that time, that effort? And that's why I study Kobe's mindset so much. It was at a point in time where I was watching nothing but Kobe interviews just to pick his brain about certain things, because just how much he practiced his love for the game, and how much he was willing to study, and even like just the certain things that him and Justin would say was spot on and alike. I remember they asked Kobe, like, when he lost, like, how did he take losing the championship to the Pistons, and he said that he was excited because he felt like it was something that he could learn. They asked Justin how did he feel losing to Sanford Kelly after being undefeated for 4 years. He said he was excited because it was so much he felt like he had to learn.
yeah. Because you don't never
Like,
want to get to that point where you're just like, because one of the guys that I seen, he said it is like you should want, like you shouldn't want the same player to win every time. Like you should want like different people to be taking it because it says that you have a healthy community, you have a
yeah,
strong community. But if the same person's winning like every time, there's like your community's really weak.
yeah,
And I could see from that mindset like Kobe had. Cause every time when I was
yeah,
looking, he's like Allen Iverson was like, man, let's go to the club and let's go hang out. And Kobe like, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna
yeah,
go shoot. I'm gonna go shoot some shots. And like,
yeah,
and you could just see like the difference in the mindset. Like they had just lost. You like, man, no, they had just. I think they won. I can't remember if they won or lost, but I know he was just like, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna come back out here. I'm gonna shoot by like 500 shots. And I'm
yeah,
like, bro, Iverson was kind of like, bro, you just won. What's going on? Like, man, you should be, ready to celebrate. And he's
yeah.
like, no, I'm finna go back in the gym and I'm finna work. I'm like,
Yeah, and I could say for me, Tekken 7, like, it was, well, Tekken 7 at one point I was there. Like, I could say my mindset was there, bro. Like, before the pandemic happened, because in Tekken 7 I had so many moments, and Tekken 7 was the first Tekken I played. So I got the game from the beginning, and I remember playing Tag 2 at the end of Tag 2 on my 360, and the homies was cooking me so bad I fell asleep. And and then I was like, yo, when Tekken 7 come out, I'm gonna learn this game, and I learned it. And going to locals, I went on to for like 2 months, 3 months straight, and locals was every other week. And then once the summertime hit, I started to have more of an understanding on how to play Tekken. I was watching videos because anything that I get into, bro, I study that shit like it's an exam. People don't understand, like, and I still feel like I could work hard. I study that shit like it's an exam. So I'm watching so many tournaments. I'm watching my replays. I'm looking at different things that I can improve on. I'm watching everybody that play with my character, figure out like what are they doing right? How can I add certain things to my tool? How can I add this to my style? So I'm playing Tekken, I'm learning Tekken, I'm learning. Like, I'm staying after, I'm figuring out what I could do better. I'm talking to different people to the point where, like, for my city, they had like a Tekken final where it was like, all right, this is like the final Tekken for this year, the final Tekken tournament for this year, and was sometime in like October, November, right? And I was playing. I lost my first game, but after that, I went on a tear, and I was killing in pools to the point where everybody was like behind me, rallying, just wanting to see me win. And the last game, I lost, but it wasn't a bad loss. It was like everybody was like everybody there was giving me a lot of props to the point where two of the best players like in our city was like wanted to be like a coach because they seen so much potential in me. So one of them was another lead player, and he was like, "Yo, like we definitely gonna grind a little. We gonna grind more in the game." And the other person was like, the other person was a he's a Brian player now. Go by Ty, like he's a Brian player now, but he was just at the time he was a Marduk player, and he was like, "Yo," he was like, "You could always come over to Marduk, and I can help you out, or whatever. It's less execution." So then at that time, one of my homies, like a couple of my homies, was there, and they were trying to leave to go home, and I didn't. I wanted to stay at the tournament not only to watch, but to get better. I wanted to play. I wanted to practice, and they wanted to leave, and I didn't want to. And it was like they were pulling at my arm to leave, and I just gave in. But and I was kind of hurt at the time because I was like, damn, like y'all kept asking me to leave, but at the time I didn't even know how. And I should have communicated and said like, nah, I really want this. That's something that I should have did as a person, and but I didn't know how to communicate that. But at that time, I really wanted it. At that time, it's like, no, I don't. What we gonna do? Go back to the crib, drink, and play a random game? I want to be here. I want to get back. Like I wanted to be the best second player
Yeah,
at that time, so I could stay. It's really a different mindset. So when everybody else like, yo, let's go out to the club, Kobe like, now I'm gonna go back home and watch game tapes. No, I'm gonna go to the gym. I want to get better. Like, and that's where I was at. It was like, no, I want to stay here because I want to get better. Like, and my homies at the time just they didn't know that's what I wanted. And part of it was because I didn't communicate that. And a part of it, a part of it, I wish they would have saw then, like, that's what I really wanted. Because if they wanted to stay, I would have supported it. I would have never kept tugging at their arm. If I did wanted to leave, I would have been like, look, stay and continue to be great. I would have supported it. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
it's a difference in mindset between somebody that want it and somebody that don't really want it like that. Because it's just like, and some people bank on their talent. Some people work so hard they get so talented to the point where they don't even work hard no more. I feel like I learned super slow to the point where I have to work way harder than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm naturally talented at any fighting game. Any fighting game that I played, I had to work hard to get good at.
yeah. Because I've been like that with jury. Because people like, man, because people keep asking me like, bro, why don't you try to go for master? It's like there's no reason you shouldn't be a master rank player. And I'm just like, I don't know. I just haven't had the drive to do it.
Yeah,
It's like not because I don't like the game. It's just because like right now I'm just like in a learning mode with her. Like
yeah,
there's so much stuff I'm learning about jury. It's like it's crazy. It's like it's I just seen a combo. I didn't even know she could even do that combo in Feng Shui, and the guy
yeah,
pulled it out. I'm like, man, let me see if I could do that. And I say, okay, well I can do the combo. Well, let me change it up a little bit. Let me see what else I can get off that combo if I try to do different stuff. And sometimes I get stuck in the lab. I would say that
yeah,
was like I'm just trying different stuff, and it's just like I don't know. It's just like getting to master rank and Street Fighter. It really hasn't that bug hasn't hit me, but it's kind of getting there where I was like, okay, I'm ready to get to master rank because I'm kind of at the point where I'm like I don't really want to keep playing players down here on this rank because I feel like a lot of times that I'm either better than them or I'm losing the stuff because they're doing like wild stuff like
yeah,
mashing DI on a block string. And it's
yeah,
like you're expecting them to play a certain way because of their rank, and it's like they'll pull out some of the most random things at times.
yeah,
But I completely understand like his mindset because like my mind is kind of shifting to that point where it's like I want to be a master rank player.
yeah. Like, man, but even when you get to master, that's not the end. That's something that we all gotta understand. It doesn't matter where you get. That's not the end. Like growth is something that happens until you die.
Oh no, when it comes to master rank, dude, I want to get in the master rank because I'm like I want to play really good players because I feel like iron sharpens iron. Like you can only push yourself as far as the players you're playing against.
Yeah,
And
but
I
even
I'm gonna say this: like a lot of master rank players, people get master rank and then all of a sudden they just stop playing.
Yeah,
It's like they just sit at 1500. I'm like, why would you stop playing? Like you're with the 1% of this game. You're with the pros. And it's like there's so much you can learn from just playing them.
yeah. And I can say this, like some it doesn't mean, I will say this, because you get to a certain rank, it doesn't mean that some people won't do stupid stuff. Because even like the homie Rose, like I watch him play other people and he'd be like, how did this person get the master playing like this? Like he like he would say that, like, how did this person get the how did they get here? Some people know how to, some people can win by doing stupid stuff. That's why I'm just like, skill doesn't always apply to rank all the time.
Yeah.
Because some people, like when I play at locals, like we don't ask each other, oh, what rank you are. Like the new players might do that, but most people don't. And some people have lost to me, and I'm not a master rank. I'm stuck between diamond 2 and 3. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
don't. So it's like some people, like skill and rank don't always mix. A lot of people get that confused. Sometimes it's so many people, because like I'm not gonna lie, like in on Fightcade I got to B rank and third strike, right? So getting to B rank and third strike, you're like a part of the 2%. Like you're like not even 2%. I think it's like the 1%, and then like once you get the A and S, like those are like the 0.4% of players. So it's just like when I got there and I played certain people, yes, certain people were good and certain people just wasn't. Certain people was just like, I'm like, how the hell did you get here? You know what I'm saying? But it's like some, and then I play certain people that's in C and they're godlike. You know what I'm saying? People play when I was in C trying to get to B and third strike. People were like, "Yo, like you're really good. Like you deserve to be in B." And I was just like, well, at the time, I'm just like, well, like I just don't know how to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like I could say, growth is something that happens continuously, and you don't want to be defined by your rank. Yeah, you can run into players and master that are really good, that play the game to a T, and you can get better. But at the same time, there's some people that might be in the rank that you at that could teach you just as much as the other person that's in master. Like you never know. Like you never know. That's why to me it's good. It's great to just hit certain players up, that hit certain players up and talk to certain players and just try to run sets with them, because it's just like if somebody can exploit your weakness and you can exploit theirs, y'all can grow together.
Yeah. I feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
But this goes to another question I wanted to ask you. Because I know you have
What's up?
strong opinions on this one. Like, is that jersey worth your soul?
No.
Why would you say that? Because you see so many people like, I want that jersey, I want that contract, I want that money. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get it.
Because a lot of people don't understand that they're more important than the jersey. They don't know their worth. They put all their worth into the jersey but don't do nothing with it once they get the jersey. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like if you get a jersey, yeah, they're investing in you. Yeah, they're putting money into you. But what are you doing to invest in you? Because a contract is a contract. It ends after a while.
yeah.
So it's just like, what did you do? What did you do with the jersey? Like, what did you do with them investing in you? Did you create more content? Did you create merch on your own? Did you do something to make yourself more valuable for you? That's why it's not really worth your soul. Because truth be told, and it's funny though, because Bum said something that I agree with. That's so funny, right? I could make a jersey myself with my name on it.
Yeah.
Not not even not to be no phony shit. It's not even to be phony to be like I'm sponsored or anything. No, create my own jersey with my name on it. When I go to tournaments, people gonna see my name on the back, my Twitch name, and what am I doing? Promoting myself.
I guess people look at it from the fact that like, okay, this is kind of like you're getting the stamp of approval from the industry. Like, hey, I got the jersey, I got the big company behind me. I'm that guy, I'm that player.
That's that's cool or not, but what happens when you drop when they drop you?
Well, hopefully
If
by then you kind of don't build your own thing. I would hope that.
most people don't build their own thing. They just they put their worth into that jersey.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes when I talk to certain people and they lose the sponsorship, I be like, yo, you still this, that, and the third. You got a personality. You done this, that, and the third. You're bigger and better than the jersey. The jersey is not just so like for me, it's like I don't want to be signed by anybody. Like I don't want to be signed by nobody. I'm cool off that. You know what I'm saying? Like sponsorships is dope. Don't get me wrong. If I get sponsored by Fiji Water, fire. But I don't want to be a part of like a esports organization. No, I don't because I can't say what I want to say. You're gonna put loopholes into shit, and then like I don't want to feel like my worth is into which I'm never gonna fall into. My worth is this.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna fall into it. Like, don't get me wrong, I am a part of like I now I'm a part of like my local scene. I'm part not just my local scene, but now I'm a part of like a tournament organization that run locals, and yeah, I'm a part of their video editing crew. But if they were to cut me, I'm still Palm 215. I'm still me.
Because when I look at it, I'm like, man, some of y'all, like if Capcom came to you right now and said, we want to sign you to a contract, but we own any content you make, for the extent of your contract. We get a certain percentage of your pot when you win tournaments, but we're gonna pay for you to go to this tournament. We're gonna give you this amount of money. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. What you say? Yeah, I'll sign that deal.
It depends. It's hard for me to say that because it's just like if they get a certain percentage, it's like how long the contract going to be. Because if it's something like that, I would want it to just be a year
Even though you
or
be,
six
even though
months.
you'll be giving up all your rights to your content, any content that you make within that
But
year time.
for that year, because it depends. It's hard because I wouldn't want to give up my content. I wouldn't want to, but some people be in certain situations. Like if I'm in a situation like the situation now that I'm in, right? If I can make it lucrative for me and I can still build my name. Like I could still build my name. They only own my content for a year. So if they own my content for a year, I could still build upon other skills that I could still build upon certain skills. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
after that year, because like I said, it all depends on what you want to. It all depends on what you do in that contract. If I get better at video editing and I get better at this, and this for that whole entire year, and I save a lot of money to the point where now I got a better camera, I got this, I got this, I got this. I leave out of that contract. I leave out of that contract more valuable because of everything that I chose to put in myself within that year span.
yeah, I get you.
Yeah, so
It's,
it's like it all depends on what you do and what you want. Yeah, they own that content for that time, but shit, the content that I'm gonna make after that year gonna be way better. I might not be able to go to every single tournament because they sponsored it, but I can also save money to go to certain tournaments to create better content because it's not about how much you put out, it's about the quality that you put out.
yeah. Cause we've seen like when EWC was going on, it's like all of a sudden these esports teams were like raiding the FGC to find players to play in it, and then what like a month or two after the EWC was over with, they pretty much dropped them. And I'm like, man, y'all, what kind of contract did y'all sign with these people? That basically where they could just toss y'all like that. And when you start talking to people, you're like, well, did y'all have like a contract lawyer look over this stuff and try to see what your options were? And it kind of seemed like everybody was like, nah, we kind of let Ultra David look over. I'm like, bro, y'all need to go to an actual contract lawyer. And like it might be worth paying a little bit of money now to actually get a decent contract.
That's
But
true.
it just seemed like people were so afraid because they're like, man, if I don't say yes to this contract now, they might give it to somebody else. And I just like, man, y'all kind of just taking advantage of the scene because y'all
Yeah,
know
because
people are hungry to get that sponsorship.
yeah, it's like the music industry, like, and it's hard because you don't know. It's like you don't know somebody's living situation or anything, and they look at it like this could possibly change my life. So it's like it's hard to tell. It's like I tell people all the time, like it's hard to tell that person to find another way if you can't provide them with something with the other way. Because I could tell somebody, yo, don't take that contract, but shit, if somebody got an eviction notice and this contract can give them money so they won't get evicted, like
Yeah,
I can't tell them not to take the contract. You feel what I'm saying? But I
yeah,
would tell them when you do take the contract, do your best to build up on you. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, it's like, man, if they own, like, it's funny though, cause they can own they can own the majority of my content, right? But who's to say who's to say that I'm not gonna create my own? Cause I could find a loophole, create my own content on the side, save some of those videos, not put shit out, and then put shit out after shit is over.
yeah,
Cause they don't know what I'm doing 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's to say I don't have side content being recorded, and I'm putting those to the side. Whenever they choose to drop me, then I could drop this, and this.
yeah.
It's so many. Like what? Like I would figure out. So I would try to figure out so many different ways, so many different loopholes that I could do to make the most out of me. So when the contract is over, I'm in a better state than I was before I got it. Yeah, they got like a lot of the views and the content from me from the stuff that I did make when I was there, but now that I'm off, I'm way better now, and I can only go like, and it's up to me. I can only grow. I can only grow larger from there.
Yeah, cause you know you're gonna have those guys like, man, Paul, man, you gotta keep it real, bro, man. Don't sign that contract, bro. You know you grassroots with us and everything. I like, bro, I gotta do what's best for me.
Yeah, like
I
don't get me wrong. I am like, if the contract is taking away too much, then I'm gonna be like, nah, because I do have integrity. You will never see me acting like something that's not me because the contract told me that I can't be honest and raw. Nah. I'm gonna be honest and raw regardless. I will tell somebody, yo, go lab that shit.
always
Like if they take away, like, I don't care if I'm gonna be out on the street, you will not take away my integrity. My integrity means the most to me.
yeah. Cause you know there are some guys. I know a pro player. He talked about it. He like the reason a lot of the pros don't really give advice because if they say the wrong thing, all of a sudden somebody they get a little pissy about it. They run to their sponsors and say, "Hey, man, this the kind of person you want representing your company," and causes a whole bunch of problems. And it's like sometimes that's why a lot of pros just don't really give advice and they try to basically not speak on a lot of things,
Yeah. Which
which
that's
are understandable.
Yeah, which that's the bad part about being sponsored, because you can't say what's really going on sometimes because you're under a contract and this, that, and the third. That's why that's like a slippery slope for me. But I'll say, like, I understand the business side of it, and the business side of any and everything is that you like. And damn, man, like, if I could suggest anything to anybody, like, I 50 Cent got a book called, I think, the 50th power, the 50th power, right? And I listened to the audio book of it, right? And the way that he broke down business and the different decisions that he make is genius. Like, it's genius. Like he looked at everything like an opportunity, not like him being lowball, because some people would some sponsorships would give him like give him like a low budget to do something, and he was just like, well, with this budget, what can I do? This is still an opportunity for me to create something. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, the way that he looked at everything, it didn't matter if he had like a low budget. He was like, I'm gonna make the most out of this. He looked at everything as an opportunity, even like in the beginning where people were taking like his mixtapes, and they was taking his projects that was supposed to they was taking his mixtapes, and they were selling it, or they was giving it out for free, or they was leaking a lot of his stuff. He looked at it like, like, yeah, I might not be getting paid for all of this, but this could be a tool to market me, to make me more popular.
Yeah,
So that's what he did. Like, he was like, yeah, like, I want this to get leaked. So he talked to the bootlegger, and he was just like, yo, this is what made me more popular. Instead of being mad that, oh, like, people aren't buying it, like, people leaking my stuff, he looked at it, well, this is the opportunity for me to get known more.
yeah.
Yeah,
Instead of trying to shut it down, kind of using it to basically boost his profile up.
yeah, like, so it's like I tell people to like really look into that because that really put me in the perspective of just taking trying to use every opportunity even though it might not be lucrative or you get lowball, use it as an opportunity in order to grow. Like what can I get from this? Or whatever, how can I grow from this? That's why I look at it like, all right, they might own my content for this, that, and the third, but all right, what can I possibly do to capitalize off of this? Like, how can I become better through all of this? Like, what can I gain from all of this? So just like, all right, now that they paying this, that, and the third, I don't got to work a job right now because they're funding everything. Let me just stream as much as I can now. Let me try to gain more of an audience now since within this year they're gonna do this, that, and third. I know 3 months before the contract is up for me to go look for another job. For me to kind of slow down from streaming or whatever to try to figure out, all right, I could do this, that, and the third, but I got this amount of audience from this. I got this amount of audience from this. Now I'm now my numbers is way better now. Like I still got I met somebody that's good at making merch, so I don't gotta focus on them making the merch for me. So I'm gonna fund this, that, and the third. Like it's so many different ways you could come out of the contract a beast if you don't rely on the contract.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that hurts our scene too. A lot of people really just are not very business literate and just think
And
like just like majors should just be free. Like no, this stuff costs. Like
yeah,
throwing tournaments cost money. You got to buy consoles. You got to buy space for the venue. You got to buy venues and all that stuff. Like tournaments aren't cheap, even though
yeah.
people seem to think that they are.
Like I think and even I remember last year me and my homie went into a discussion and we was talking about winner takes all tournaments, which I don't think is nothing wrong with winner takes all tournaments if somebody's starting off a tournament because it's like we don't like if you're doing this for the love. You are funding the tournament. So you can't give second and third place anything like that because you're putting your money and your soul and your time and your effort into it, right?
Yeah,
So my homies felt like it's something wrong with that. Like, yo, with second and third place should get paid out. I'm just like I was like that's the issue with a lot. People keep expecting major stuff from like local or grassroots things. It's just like no, like I was just like I was like I wouldn't have a problem competing in a tournament and winner takes all. I don't like for me, even at a major or even at a major, I like if I got second or third place, I'm not expecting anything. Like I wouldn't expect anything. Yeah, the major they got sponsorships that have the money to put into that. You expecting rich stuff from somebody that started this out of their passion because they're trying to give something to a scene that they don't that these players don't have, and I feel like a lot of people don't look into that. Like I look into that. I look into stuff like, yo, this person is starting something off dope or whatever. Now some people are scammers, so you got to be wary of that. But I look at it like if this person is starting this off or whatever, and they're putting their money into it, and they like, yo, like winner gets $200 or whatever, I'm gonna support it. And if it's winner takes all, I don't care. I'm gonna support it regardless if I get something or not. I don't gotta pay to enter or whatever. It's free to enter in this tournament or whatever. And the winner takes all. Like, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I support it? Because what second or third don't get anything? I was just like, that's the issue. We keep wanting major stuff from grassroots or people just starting something out. Like
yeah.
they're putting their money and their soul and their passion into it.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
trust me, I know because our local scene, like when we were struggling, like man, we were having tournament. You might walk out with like $20 because it just wasn't that many of us.
Yeah.
Like even though now we getting people in there, it's still you'll get maybe like 100, $150. Like I said, it's not. I ain't saying there's nothing to sneeze at or whatever, but like you can't expect to be like, man, this local tournament paid me out like $1,000. I'm like that's not real. That's not realistic for
Yeah.
a tournament to pay out like that. A grassroots tournament, and even with the when it comes to the majors, like they're still complaining about the payout for the majors, and I'm like, some of y'all are walking away with $40,000, and y'all made like seventh to eighth place. And I'm like, that's like a year's worth of pay of some people. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't see why y'all would be complaining about the payout.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just me. I just look at it like, man, that's at $40,000. That's a pay for a year. So that's pretty
Yeah.
much enough to finance you for a year, depending on what state you're in and what your expenses are.
Yeah, and then just make certain investments. Like so many people aren't thinking about that. They just want to get $1 million and be like, all right, cool, this, that, and the third. Like how like nobody's thinking of business savvy, and nobody's thinking like, well, how can I flip this and double this? Nobody's thinking that. Nobody, it's like nobody has a hustler's mentality when it comes on to it, because I look at it like, all right, cool, like if I make this, that, and the third, what can I do with it? Or if I go to it, like now, and at first I didn't have it. Now I'm like, all right, cool, if I go to a local tournament, let me record, let me because now I'm doing it. Like now I'm like, all right, cool, let me make a vlog about me going to this tournament. Let me interview a couple people. Let me talk to a couple people. Let me get people to sign something, or give me their gamer tag, so we can possibly create something, or we could do this, then the third. Nobody's thinking about building. Nobody's thinking about how can they make more out of this. They get the $40,000, then it's over. And I get it. Like sometimes some of us didn't have it. So like, cause even me, like some of us, we get money, we don't know what to do with it because we never had it before. That makes sense. But we got to start growing from that mindset and figuring out, all right, cool. I got 40,000 from this tournament or whatever. What can I do with this money to and flip it in order to make more of it? Or how can I invest in the community or whatever, to the point where every tournament can have this, that, and the third. What can I do? What can we do? Or let me play my part, even if it's for free. Let me play my part to the point where it's like, all right, like this tournament is not. This tournament can only give $100, or this tournament is dope, but people don't know where it's at. What can I do to play a part within this tournament to the point where people could see what I see within the tournament? You might have to be you might have to be the videographer. You might have to be behind the boards. You might not be somebody that's in front of the camera like a commentator or whatever the case may be. A lot of people aren't thinking about growth. They're just thinking about the money
Yeah, they're looking at the
that
end.
they
They're looking at the end goal without seeing the path that you got to walk to get it.
yeah. So it's like it's a lot of that that's kind of like that's getting in the way of the community's growth, because nobody's looking at it from multiple perspectives. They just looking at it one way. Oh, this tournament only gave $50, or this, that, and the third. But it's like you gotta look at it deeper than that sometimes, because when I go to a tournament, it's not only to compete. Like when I go to the tournament, like you don't know what I went through this week. So going to the tournament could be a way for me to like get away from all the BS that I went through. You know what I'm saying? Because it's that for some people. I talk to people at tournaments, and I know at my local tournaments, it's that thing that they go to in order to get a break from what life is doing to them. A lot of people aren't thinking that way. They just thinking about money. Why do I want to pay $20 to get into a tournament? But you gonna spend $20 on you gonna spend $20 on weed and liquor that ain't doing nothing but hurting yourself.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But you're not gonna support a tournament because you don't want to pay $20 to get into a tournament. Meanwhile, this venue costs a whole lot for them to even rent it out. They're not even making money off the tournament at all. They taking the same money that they make and they putting it to the pot. And meanwhile, you complaining and you're not even supporting.
yeah. Because
You,
like
the
we
people
we've
don't.
we've had people like that in our local scene too. Like, because our venue fee is like $5.
Yeah,
Each game is $5. So I'm like, man, and our TO, he wanted to kind of like, man, maybe I should raise the price up a little. And then the people that just came out the woodworks complaining about like him raising it from 5 to maybe 10. I'm like, bro, it's just $5 more. And like some of y'all not even really playing in but like one game. So I'm like, it's like $15. So I'm like, but y'all want PS5 Pros. Y'all want PCs. Y'all want all this stuff, but yet when he want to raise the money up a little bit, it's like it's a big problem. And I'm like, it's like how do y'all expect this scene to grow more if y'all don't even want to put in the effort or a little financial incentive to basically help the scene grow?
yeah,
And that just really just it irked my nerve, because I know how hard ITO worked, especially during the Street Fighter 5 times, when it was like when you was walking out the tournament, if you won maybe with $10. Like, so I know how hard ITO worked. And to see people just kind of give him that little attitude about stuff, I'm like, that's just kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
yeah,
And I'm just like, man, y'all really need to be financially literate on, like, how much this stuff costs. Like we're in a place, we're in a barcade because Macon, we got a barcade,
Yeah.
and then, like, they have allowed us to be in there, but they could at any time basically say we don't want y'all in here, and then we got to find a whole nother place to go.
Yeah, it's like people aren't looking at it, like players aren't looking at it like that at all. They're not looking at the other side. And for me, I have always it don't matter what it is. I look at all of that. I look at everything. I look at how much, like I always think about like, well, how much this venue costs and how much this, that, and the third. And it's like people do not look at it like that. A lot of the players just look at it like, well, I'm just going there to compete and it should be $5 instead of 10. It shouldn't be $20. It should just be $10. It's like you don't understand how much work somebody put into this. And I have been there. I have helped, and just even like setting everything up and just breaking everything down and putting everything, I have did all of that. People don't understand the efforts that it takes. It's just like and then they're around it and they don't even care to look. They don't even care to just look at like, damn, I'm seeing this person walk around, run around like their head cut off to try to get this to work.
Yeah, that's why I
Like,
say it. That's why I say it rubs me the wrong way when players start complaining like that.
cause it's a lot that goes into this, and it just takes one person to tweet out something, and then next thing you know, if a person got influence, they could completely stop, they could stop the flow of everything.
Yeah,
It's like I see both sides, and don't get me wrong. If you don't, it's one thing if you don't care about your local scene at all, and you just like, well, this is what it is. It's one thing if you're doing that, but it's just another thing if you know somebody putting their heart and soul. Not even if you don't even care to get to know to see if they're putting their heart and soul in it. All you care about is that you being a player and that's it, and you shouldn't pay that much. I think people really gotta, they really gotta, and that's one thing I've noticed too is just one thing I get annoyed of is just the lack of consideration. People don't even consider the thought of like what are people doing to make sure that they have a venue to go to.
right, right.
They don't even consider other players and what other players might be going through at home, and the type of week they might have. Like they don't consider none of that. They don't, like, some people will just be so caught up in their own bubble that they don't even consider that if this goes away, you don't have a local to go to, and then other people that may be going through a lot at home don't got a local to go to where they feel like they can let loose, they could be themselves, they could compete, they could be happy.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm like, I support our to with as much as I can do.
Yeah,
Because we, like I said, he was going through hell doing Street Fighter Five, just trying to get people to come out and just support the scene. Like, it got to a point, I think even he said it, like there was a point where he just wanted to just walk away from it and say, man, it ain't even worth it. But now he's like, man, I'm kind of glad I did stick it out, man, because now not only do we got our own tournament, the Isekai tournament. Uh, I don't know if you know, it's a group called Atlanta called Data.
yeah,
Like, they have putting on their second major event from Max Mode. And then on top of that, now the city of Macon, they want to work with the TOs and the esports team that we have down here, Swagged Out Nerds, to now put on the Isekai tournament. So now
yeah,
we got the support of the city behind us.
yeah,
And that's just like from just like years of just working, him just working hard to basically get the scene where it is now.
yeah,
And it's crazy to me just watching it, like how the scene is just kind of just growing from this little small area.
yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, that's what I want from my city because I could say a lot of the TOs that run like different tournaments in our city, a lot of them are like have been players that turn into TOs. So they understand things from both perspectives, and they're doing, like, everybody's doing their own creative thing. But I just hope one day that, because everybody does support each other, I just hope one day they come together and be like, yo, let's have like a regional or a major. Let's run like a super big tournament. And
Like, that would be
that's,
cool. That would be awesome.
yeah, because that's what I want. Because I'm not gonna lie, even though we do have, like, final round and like summer jam, like, it's never in the city. It's always in Jersey. Yeah, it's a Philly bred tournament, but it's in Jersey. I just would want something just to be like us to have a major at a venue in the city. that way, because if we have something like that's downtown, any and everybody could get there, because downtown in Philadelphia is like the middle ground. So if we have something in the city, everybody could be in within the city, and have something downtown, any and everybody could go. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like I think it'd be dope. I would want that for our local scene, but I do my best to try to support any and anybody that's in the local scene, even outside the local scene. When I meet people and I talk to people, and I tell people all the time, if they got merch, send me the link and I'll be willing to buy it. Even now, like I got like a Southeast throwdown hoodie, and they run third strike tournaments, and I bought their hoodie and I bought their hat just to support them. You know what I'm saying? So I do my best to try to support anybody, as long as they doing it because this is what they love to do, and they have like a good head on their shoulders. I try my best to support any and everything. If I can't be there, I'll try to watch it. If I can't watch it, I'll try to buy merch. If I can invest in the pot, I'll do it too. Like it's like I do my best to try to support it because I want this to stay. I want us to have this type because if I knew about this as a kid, I probably would have went to more tournaments if I knew about this as a kid, and like somebody being 13 years old, they could compete if they want to. And people don't know how much of a difference this is making too, because I remember my homie, he worked at a group home, and it was this one kid, like, and the group home had a bunch of teenagers in there. And the group home is like a middle ground before they send them to like placement. Now placement in Philly is like is a juvenile detention center. So he was in the group home, and he was like, yo, he was asking me to, like, he was like, yo, I think you should work in a group home because I know that you will make a difference here. And I was just like, well, I'm not really into the streets. He's like, yeah, but you come from the struggle and you come from the standard third, you can make a difference. I'm like, man, I don't believe so. So my homie asked me to send me a video of, like, me playing like certain games. So I sent them a couple of the videos, and I sent them a video of me being at a major. So the youngin seen it because he said, "Yo, he loved playing MK." So he seen it. He was like, "Yo, that's really you." I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yo, that's really him." And he said after that day, he never had a problem with the kid anymore. He's like, he got up early. He didn't, because he saw somebody that looked just like him doing a thing. And I haven't even done anything that was, to me, that I felt like was super extravagant. But since I had a place to go and I had a tournament to go to, and he saw somebody that looked just like him, had the same skin color and everything, it inspired him as a kid to do something more positive.
Yeah.
But
Like
if
I,
we don't support our majors, we don't support our locals, all of this can go away and just be a memory of us being like, yo, remember when this, that, and the third? And I don't want it to be a memory.
yeah, I feel you on that one. Like I think it's good for us to kind of get in there and just show kid like, hey man, this ain't just Japanese players and some white guys doing it. It's like, hey, you can do this too, bro.
Yeah.
But the last topic I'm gonna get into before I turn it like just free talk or whatever. It's something
Yeah.
I don't know. You might get in trouble in your scene for it. It bringing the female players in a good thing right now.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think we need more women in that game. I'm gonna be honest. I think we need more women because, like, people aren't gonna get used to women being in the scene until there's more women in the scene, and then it becomes regular. A lot of guys in the a good amount of majority of the guys in the scene don't get attention from women, being honest with you. So when they see a woman that game, they go crazy because they're not used to it, not understand the attraction of it. Because, like, we all guys and we all understand, when we see a woman that game, we like, oh shit, like she game. So the attraction level becomes higher, because even when I went to high school or when I went to middle school, it was no women that I knew that game at all. I ain't know, and I don't know if everybody experience was the same, but for me, it was never a woman that I looked at that I was like, oh, like I was never a woman that told me that she game when I was in high school or middle school, not even in college. So
Mhm.
I think women that game can be dope, but at the same time, I think some guys in the scene might mess it up because I'm not going. It is toxic women in the scene too. Let's not. We can't act like it isn't like certain toxic women that's in the scene that kind of mess it up for every other woman. But it's like I don't think there's nothing wrong with including women in the scene. We need more women in the scene. On top of that, it's like who wants to be like I don't always want to be around guys all the time.
Yeah, I
So
feel you on that.
yeah, so I think it's dope to I think it's really dope to see women in the scene really doing their thing. I think we need more women so it can be regular so guys won't be so weird.
Yeah. I think it's more so because people looking at the stuff that's kind of happening. I guess like the Guilty Gear community with the Umi show thing. Then you had the Super Yam thing was going on with Daigo. Then you had the other girl. I forgot what her name was. Basically, was saying that somebody was trying to pay her for sex at CEO or was it no Combo Breaker. And the whole thing,
Yeah.
it's like, and then the whole thing with people going back to your room and oh he did this to me, and it's like, and I said something that kind of pissed a lot of some of the females off. And I said, if you are a female in the FGC, as much as you may like this player, whatever, there's no point for you to be going back to his room. I don't care if it's a whole bunch of people in there. That's just it's a bad situation waiting to happen. And I wasn't saying it in the sense of trying to tell somebody what to do. I'm just like, this is probably not a good idea, especially if there's liquor involved. Is this is just a bad situation waiting to happen.
Yeah.
But some people were just like, well, it shouldn't really be like that, and I shouldn't feel unsafe. But going to a tournament, I'm like, yeah, you're right. You shouldn't feel unsafe coming to a tournament. There's no one who's coming to a tournament that should feel unsafe, especially. But sometimes it just like you say, some dudes just kind of acting a little bit weird because he might like the chick or whatever, and might press things a little bit too far.
Yeah. Um I do believe that like women do need to stay in the venue if they want to get more games and just stay in the venue because they have like 24/7 venues. When I go back to when I went to a major, when I went back to my hotel, I went back to my hotel, not the game. I went back to my hotel to go to sleep. So it's like, and I know with some people they go back to the hotel and they run sessions or whatever the case may be. But I do feel like if women are gonna do that, they need to go with multiple women. That way they feel safe instead of going by themselves to another guy's like hotel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So like I'll say that out of just just for them protect themselves to for them to be safe. And that's why for me I told myself like I would never just because I want to protect myself and my brand and I know this sounds kind of wild like I would never date a woman within the FGC because I don't want anything to happen to that magnitude or just like cancel culture being like it's not as high as it was but just getting canceled over something. So with me I much rather not date a woman that game. But do I support women that game? Yes. You know what I'm saying? i
yeah,
think I think it's dope to see women that game because I didn't grow up seeing that, and to see it happen, to see all of that happen. Because a lot of us, because with me, I ain't gonna lie, when I grew up, I never like when women would come around, I never wanted a woman to know that I game at all, because back then it just was not acceptable because of all of the bad shit that it got behind it as far as like what people will create about. Because some gamers, yeah, some of them it is a waste of time, but why can't it just be something that I like? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I never wanted a woman to judge me just because I was a gamer. But after a while, I just didn't care. If you cool with me or you mess with me or you really fuck with me like that, then you don't care if I game at all. You just gonna look at it this like this is something that he likes that he enjoys. You know what I'm saying? But now I feel like now we're in a place where I do feel like women should be more included. It should be more women. I think it should be more women in the scene, so they can feel more protected, so they can feel more comfortable. But then also, so other guys won't be super weird about it.
oh yeah. I don't know. It just seemed like guys, some guys just gonna be weird because they just not really used to being around chicks or around women like that. So it's like how do you kind of I like man, you just kind of like okay, bro, just chill out, bro. She just trying to play some sets with you and stuff. She ain't trying to do anything. She just want to play a couple of matches, stuff like that. But some guys kind of just like you said, they just trying to take it a little bit too far and just feel like, oh man, she's talking to me. Maybe I need to make a move on her, and then you just don't know if you might be thinking that it's just innocuous, like you trying to just spit some game at her. but she might not be interested or find it to basically. I don't like this dude, and he's not getting the signals that I'm sending him that I don't want to talk to him like that.
Yeah,
Cause you had the stuff with like with Umi show where basically she was coming out saying that the guy he did this and this and this to me in the hotel room, and it started a whole mess in the community. And I kind of was just like, man, I really wish people would keep their personal lives out of the scene.
yeah. Um, I do too, but that's like at the same time I understand people shooting their shot. If you shot your shot with somebody in the FGC and they say no, just leave it at that. I think so many people don't do that because you can get mixed signals. Sometimes you may like because it's like in life you can get mixed signals and you may think somebody may be into you and you don't, and they don't or whatever. But just don't make the situation weird. That's how I look at it. Don't make the situation weird and mess it up for somebody that maybe come into a scene because this is what they really enjoy to do. This is what they really enjoy. This is what they like to do. So I just think people just need to just be considerate and just don't be weird. That's just what it is. It just don't be weird. Like don't mess it up for the next person because that person might be looking for a scene to go to, and this is where they feel comfortable at, and you messed up their comfortability because you wanted to be weird.
You know,
You know what
like
I'm saying?
it's just some guy that just like that. And I know
Yeah.
that's something that basically, like you said, more females in the scene would actually get people used to them being around instead of them kind of being like a unicorn almost at times.
Yeah, and at the same time, if you as a man seeing somebody, because I feel like guys have to start telling other guys when they doing weird shit. So it's just like if you see that this guy's doing weird shit, tell him like, "Yo, chill out. You being weird right now." You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like,
yeah, but it's
that,
sometimes in the community it be some dudes enabling each other.
that is true.
Because I've noticed that a lot, like especially when it comes to certain things in the community. It's like, yeah, I kind of heard rumors this stuff was going on, but that's my homeboy, so I ain't really say nothing. And then when it finally do come out that yeah, this stuff been going on, they try to act like, oh well, I'm not, they try to basically distance themselves from that person. And I'm like, bro, you knew this stuff was kind of going on and you didn't want to speak on it. But now
Yeah,
that it's out in public, now you want to separate yourself from them.
yeah,
And I'm like, nah, bro, you probably should have said something beforehand. It
yeah,
like, but it seems like a lot of times in the community, like people kind of just like, if I'm cool with you, I'm cool with you. Like even though you might do some stuff behind the scenes that I might not agree with, I'm still cool with you until it come out in public, and then it's like, okay, I gotta save myself.
yeah.
And I just like, I really wish it wasn't like that.
It's it's a slippery slope, but with anything, it is gonna be some type of drama. I just wish that it wasn't, and I just wish that the drama didn't always come to the forefront because it's like if you go on Twitter, you would think that the FGC is a lot of drama, and that's it. That's why I don't really. That's why I don't like. That's why I took a break from Twitter, and I don't really be on Twitter like that because it's like when it come on to Twitter and the FGC, it's always some BS. It's always some BS. That's why it's like I just go and support it. It was at one point where I was on Twitter a whole lot and I seen a whole lot, and then after a while I just was like, I need to get off this because I remember when Street Fighter Six wasn't out. When Street Fighter Six wasn't out, everybody was acting like fighting games was in some type of dry spell. I was just like, what are y'all doing? Like, so y'all just got like at every game then. Like the games is a dry spell. Oh my, like people was acting like Street Fighter was the only fighting game. Like you got Guilty Gear that's still out. You got KOF that's still out. You got all the older games. You telling me you got like at every single game? You telling me that you can't find another fighting game that actually could be very dope? Like nah, like you would have swore that fighting games was just trash and people saying oh like fighting game streamers are boring. I'm like, who are y'all watching?
I,
Like, I'm sorry if you watching somebody like Idom that just played a game that don't really show off his personality, then that's your fault because you're not making yourself well versed. You're just watching somebody based off popularity.
yeah,
But I watch so many different people that make so many different FGC content that I'm like, this shit is not boring. Like I watch my homie Rhinox, I watch you, I watch my homie Red X, Mega Juice Man, watch Ignorant Rizzy. I watch a lot of different people that make a lot of different content, like as far as like fighting games, like, and I don't think this shit is boring at all. People have personalities. If you're just focused on such and such player that don't really show their personality like that, then yeah, you're gonna think that's boring, but that's a you problem. Yeah, you think the fighting games is in a dry spell because you only play Street Fighter Five. That's your problem. Like, like, and Twitter would make you feel like fighting games was in a desert when Street Fighter Six wasn't out. They will make you they. So I'm just like, I need to get off this because this is not the reality of it at all.
Oh yeah.
Like, so it's not the reality of it at all. Like I'm watching plenty different tournaments, and I'm seeing people watch. I'm seeing people play the older Melty Blood game going off. Shit is getting like going off. Like people popping off crazy. I'm watching people play them fighting herds, like them fighting herds community, they're going off, popping off. Like it's, I'm watching all of this other thing. That's why it's like, but you go on Twitter and some people just because they want to be a part of a conversation, they'll comment on it and act like that's what it is, and that's not what it is.
Like no, that's it was plenty of games. It felt more like that when before Street Fighter Five to me, where people were kind of like the fighting game community is kind of in like a dry spell, and people looked at Street Fighter coming back as like like here the like Return of the King. If Street Fighter's here, then the scene is good. If Street Fighter's not here, then the scene's not doing well. And I'm like, there's plenty of other games besides Street Fighter. I don't even like playing Street Fighter all the time. Like I would rather play like Guilty Gear. I would rather play Tekken, DOA. It's like just cause Street Fighter's out doesn't mean I want to play it all the time. My life revolves around it. But
Yeah, but
for
even
some people some people it do revolve. That's they got master rank in Street Fighter and like I'm just a shit in Street Fighter. Oh, I went to Tekken and I got clapped. Oh well, I'm finna go back over to Street Fighter.
it's like they never stick to another game. And then if we gonna be honest, the last era, even though Street Fighter was putting in numbers, like the two fighting games that did save, to me, that did save the FGC was Tekken 7 and Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah.
Like like Tekken was at its all time high in Tekken 7. Like to me it ran Evo. Like in the, it ran Evo. Yeah, it didn't have the numbers as far as like competitors. It didn't have the same amount of numbers as Street Fighter. Street Fighter had more numbers, but the numbers that Tekken was clocking in was a whole lot. And then even like the players and the way that the game was being played, it was way more entertaining. So I just think people like it, like, but like I said, Twitter would do that. Twitter FGC, I hate Twitter FGC. I hate it. I hate it, and I did experiments to see how certain shit works on Twitter, and I just hate it. Like I remember I put out a video, like it was wild. I remember I put out like a video on me playing Third Strike, and I parried like a whole super, and how I edited the video. I just put it out just regular, and it barely got any views. When it was a commentator that was like, yo, who got the best Street Fighter video, and I posted that same video on there. Now I'm getting all this engagement. Now everybody's seeing this video. Now everybody feel like this video is godlike, and I'm just like, this is weird. You probably scroll past my video all the time, but just because like I quote tweeted and put my video under there, now everybody wants to comment under it and act like it's God. Like even the people, it's different if it's people that didn't follow me, but a lot of the same people that follow me, just because they wanted to be a part of the post, they said something about it.
Yeah, I've had that happen before on Twitter. Not on Twitter X, whatever you want to call that shit. Nah. Like
Yeah, so
I
it's
put
just
a Sagat combo video out back in 5. Like nobody was messing with it. Then all of a sudden, Zaffarino, one of the best Sagats in America, he commented on it. Then all of a sudden it just blew up. Then all of a sudden you get all these views, all these comments, likes and stuff like that. I'm like, but this thing's been out for a minute.
yeah.
So I'm like, so I got it. Oh, so as long as I get the stamp of approval from a pro player that y'all like, y'all fuck with it. But if it don't, y'all don't care.
Yeah. To me, that's why it's like I hate Twitter FGC, yo. It would make it seem like something that it's not all the time. And don't get me wrong, everything does, like, Nothing is perfect. I get it. But to make it seem like, oh, it was a dry spell because Street Fighter Five wasn't out was weird. Was weird. Tekken 7 still was doing wild numbers. You still had KOF 15 that was out at the time. You still had Guilty Gear Rev 2. I mean, you still had Guilty Gear that was out at the time. You still had all these other games that was out, but just because Street Fighter 6 wasn't out, people felt like it was a dry spell. You had people acting like Street Fighter was crack to them. Like I'm just I'm like, yo, I like Street Fighter, but it's not the only fighting game that I play, and it's not the only entertaining fighting game.
Like now,
You know
some
what
of
I'm
that
saying?
I felt like it was more just people just like you said, just farming for engagements. Cause I'm like, bro, all y'all are talking about it's a dry spell when Street Fighter Five was out, coming towards the end of its lifespan. Y'all didn't even play Street Fighter Five. Y'all spent the whole life of that game talking about how much it sucked.
That's true. Like, and that's the one thing I hate, right? And the one thing I hate is people talking about how much a game sucked, but don't want to go to another game, or just talking about like, or just talking about the older version is better, but you're not playing the older version. That's why I respect Smug so much, cause cause not gonna lie, during Street Fighter Five, even in the beginning, he still went back to play Street Fighter Four. He still went back. He still went back to play Street Fighter Four. He was somebody that was like, yeah, like there's certain things I like about Street Fighter Four, Street Fighter Five, but I like Street Fighter Four more, and still play Street Fighter Four. Everybody else did not do that. He went play. He still plays Street. He still plays Street Fighter Four. Compete in Street Fighter Four. He plays Third Strike. He learned Third Strike in the pandemic and competes in Third Strike. He's learning CVS two. He's learning other games and playing other games while still competing in the current game. A lot of these players do not do that. They much rather complain about the game and still play it. It's like I'm not doing it. Like for me, right? I ain't like Strive. I will support my homies playing Strive, so I'll watch them play it, and I can still find certain things entertaining about the game. But I'm like, I don't like Strive. So you know what I did? I played Rev 2. I streamed Rev 2. If I could, I would compete in Rev 2. I am not somebody that sit back and complain. I'm somebody that's very solution based. I hate hearing people complain all day but not willing to be any part of the solution.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How can you say that you like the previous game and I'm playing the previous game more than you? Like that to me doesn't make no sense. It's like yo, like you hate the current Melty Blood, but I'm playing the older Melty Blood more than you,
It
and I'm
go,
streaming the older Melty Blood more than you,
but
and I'm
it
competing.
go back to what we talked about before though.
Yeah.
I gotta stream this game because this is my bread and butter. I can't
Some
really.
people don't even be the money. They ain't making no money off of fighting game. Some people it ain't even them making no money off of the fighting game. They just complaining
Yeah.
and not being solution based at all.
Like even
You know what I'm
With Tekken 8, yeah, there's some problems with Tekken 8. I freely admit there's some problems with Tekken 8. Even Street Fighter 6, there's problems.
Yeah.
But like people need to understand with Tekken 8, like this is the first time they've went straight from development into the consoles. Usually Tekken would come out in the arcades for about a year or two, and then we would get the refined version after it's been out for a year or two. But people
Yeah.
are complaining. I'm like, dude, this is the first time they just went straight out and they said, here's the game. So of course there's gonna be problems with the game. The game's gonna be overpowered and overtuned. But you kind of see with every patch they're kind of toning a lot of the stuff down. And so people kind of just need to just chill and just wait before they just
Yeah.
kind of write certain games off. And it's like even with Street Fighter is trying to take a approach to where, well, we're gonna do a patch, small patches and big patches, like maybe twice a year, which I
Yeah.
think is actually better because instead of just constantly patching and changing things, it like you actually can change something, get data on what you changed, and see how that affected the overall game instead of just knee jerk reaction. Let's change this.
Yeah.
And that I just hate when just people just y'all just need to put out a patch like every 3 months. I'm like, so basically the game will switch up every 3 months. So you couldn't never really get comfortable with your character. So there would be no point to be a character specialist because your characters could go from being a top tier character to bottom three within 3 months.
Yeah.
But
Um,
people just want that spontaneity of things.
I think I think it could work to rotate like top tiers because it like I'm not gonna lie, like Tekken to me has always been, when I watch a tournament, has always been more entertaining to watch pools than to watch top eight, because a lot of the top eights be the same character. So for me, it's like I don't know how to 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 adjust, like, because you still have certain character specialists, and there'd be like that one person playing the character, like Rain Chu playing with bear, playing with the bear and winning or whatever. Like, you will always have one person that play what they like, and the rest of them just be a bunch of like Jins and Dragonoffs. But then when you watch pools, you see a myriad of different characters being played. So I get it. Like, if they rotate within like every 3 months, then yeah, like you'll see different characters being played, because the top tiers is gonna constantly be switching. That's what I do want to see more. I do want to see a variety, and that's what I think. That's what Street Fighter 4 brought to me, is variety, because of how the system was in the game. So you had different people playing. You had people that were you had a lot of players that were specialists of certain characters, and even if somebody played the same character, they played with them completely different. Like watching Chris T play, Ken was completely different from the way how Momochi played Ken in Street Fighter 4. So you had character specialists, and you had a myriad of different characters, but then you also had different play styles that you've seen. You can always tell a certain player, a different player from another player. Like even in Tekken 7, you can see it too, because the way how I Am Your Father play with Lee is different from how Fighting GM plays with Lee. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
so it's just like, for me, I understand just making certain patches because you want the characters to rotate, but then you still have, as long as they don't change the character too much, the character can still kind of function the same. It's just certain things would be different. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you have that much of an attachment to a character, you're not gonna care how much they get buffed or nerfed. You're gonna stick with that character regardless. But you got people that only play top tiers, and that's why you only see a lot of Jins and Dragonoffs, because they just top tier whores. They just gonna run to whatever good because they want to win.
That's what I liked about the Tekken World Tour, that the bear won. Even though I don't like the character, I'm like, he won because y'all didn't prepare for this specific character. Y'all assumed that everybody was gonna play top tier, and he played a character that you don't really see that much. And you could tell, like in the final, like okay, you could tell these players did not lab against this character because they really don't know what to do against him. And that's actually, people may hate it, but upsets are good in any kind of sport. Like it brings a lot more excitement and hype to the game when you see an upset, more so than just man. This Let me watch Punk and Mena RD play for the 15th time this week. I'm like, it's just boring to me.
Yeah, it's different if it's like a build up and it's like a storyline behind it. Because I did like seeing like Nee versus Arslan Ash, because it was like in Tekken 7, because it was like, yo, for some reason Nee cannot beat Arslan Ash, or even Nee versus can't think of his name, versus he is the best player. He was the best player, Tekken player in America. I forgot his name. He played with Jack. I forgot his name.
Talking about Anakin.
Yeah, Nee for some reason in Tekken 7 could not be Anakin at one point. Like, it would always be Nee versus Anakin, and like Nee would always get the upper hand. So it's like sometimes like the storyline be good, but if like they're both equal and it's going back and forth, it can get boring. So I understand what you mean. It's just like you want to see a different champ each time, but sometimes the rivalries be so good, or that to me it's like, yo, I want to see it. Like I wanted to see if Nee can actually overcome and beat Arslan Nash, or if Arslan Nash is really that good, or even just seeing Anakin or just to see Anakin, can he overcome and beat Nee, which he has. You know what I'm saying? So just to see that, to me, I really like Tekken 7 storylines. I really liked a lot, because you got to see it, and then you got to see certain upsets. In Tekken 8, you get to see a whole, like at Evo was a whole lot of upsets in Tekken 8. A whole lot of upsets. People got knocked out early in Tekken 8 and pool. So
Yeah, that's why I'm more on the side of your side when it comes to stuff. Like I like watching the pools more so than just watching like top eights and stuff like that. Cause it just
You
seems
see,
like it's more excitement.
yeah, it's way more characters, like way more characters being played. And then when you get to the top eight of things, it's just like you see the same characters over and over. You see the same characters over and over again, same two characters, two, three characters. It's like I hate this now. You know what I'm saying? I like watching like the level of play and seeing what people going, see what people are gonna sidestep, or even like somebody getting shimmied, or even like just the small minute things I can find entertaining. Just somebody knowing their distance between stuff, somebody knowing the right punish, somebody. So it's just like I like seeing that, but it's just like I just like seeing the myriad of different characters. Cause even Third Strike, I love Third Strike, but I hate seeing a Chun Li mirror. I hate it. It's boring. That's why it's like if you want to sell Third Strike to somebody, you don't play Chun Li, cause she's boring to watch in Third Strike. Like it's like it's not entertaining to watch a Chun Li mirror. That should put you to sleep. So it's like, but if you want to show, if you want to be entertained in Third Strike, you go watch like somebody playing. Hugo is entertaining to watch in Third Strike. Dudley is entertaining to watch in Third Strike. Ryu is entertaining to watch in Third Strike. Freaking Yun, even Yang is entertaining to watch. Like certain characters is entertaining to watch. Chun Li is boring. She's boring, like boring to watch, like boring. That's why I was just like, nah. Like I done got people in the Discord to play Third Strike because they watch what I did with Ryu, and they like, oh shit. You wanna show people something entertaining instead of just watching the same shit over and over again. Now in Tekken, I don't think it's no character that's really boring. Like I thought I was gonna be bored watching a Jax mirror, and I wasn't.
Yeah, right now it's kind of boring to me because it seems like everybody's pulling Dragon off or has a pocket Dragon off in there.
Yeah, like seeing the same shit. Yeah, seeing the same character over and over and over again. It's like it's annoying. Like Tekken 8 didn't start becoming entertaining until I started watching the Tekken finals. Like
Mm,
it's wild, man. But yeah, I think when it comes to fighting games, I do feel like we're in a great state because I think America. I'm gonna say America because it was our problem. America got out the mindset of just the main games or the main three games, and that's all people gonna play. Now you see people jump into a myriad of different games, and all the games could be played. Rather it be old, rather it be new, rather it be an anime fighter or Street Fighter Tekken. You seeing a myriad of games being played, and I think we're in a great state where every game could be played, rather it be online or offline.
Yeah, because right now it's definitely a good time. You got City of the Wolves coming next year. We got Virtual Fighter 6 in
Yeah,
production. Getting a little bit of a peek of it at the Game
yeah,
Awards, which is I'm more interested to see how they're going to do that game because I'm trying to see
yeah.
if they're going to keep it Virtual Fighter or they're going to try to update it where now the system works a lot different than it did in the Virtual Fighter 5.
Um, I think they might add a little bit more flavor to it because um flashy stuff does work within fighting games and want to get and it gets people into it. So I think they're gonna try to add a little bit more flash to it. Um, but it's like hopefully they keep its essence of Virtual Fighter though, because I feel like Tekken now is just getting away of what made Tekken, especially with the new character that we got. It
Yeah,
just doesn't look like watching that character trailer. It just made me feel like the trailer was like Soul Calibur with combos. It
yeah,
didn't even look like a Tekken trailer to me.
yeah. A lot of people saying Noctis 2.0.
Yeah, so it's like I'm not be real with you. I'm not happy where Tekken is going, but
And
I'm not. I can't even say but because I'm not because I feel like they're risking it all now. It's
mm,
like they're risking their community. Like, and I don't know if this is gonna go. Depending on when the character comes out or whatever, I don't know if it could possibly. If a drop off happens, then it's the developer's fault because now you're completely risking your community. Because if this character is OD, then all the top players are just gonna play that character, and
yeah,
Tekken will no longer be a hand to hand combat game. It's gonna be a sword fest.
Yeah, yeah. Like when I saw it, like honestly, I really didn't want a guest character. And everybody
I,
kept telling me it was going to be when I said if had my choice in it, I said I wanted Falcon Rom to come back because that's who I was
yeah,
hoping for that next slot. Because I want games to go back to actually being what they've always been. Like I'm tired of guest characters coming into the game and just completely breaking the rules of the game and being rewarded for it.
yeah,
Like, cause we all know about Akuma in Tekken 7.
yeah. And it's like, man, like when I look back at it, and it's funny though because I think they're bringing these guest characters in because they don't have no creativity.
Mm,
They can't. I feel like they can't create good looking characters. That's wild because I feel like they can't. But if I'm gonna be honest, the best DLC character that we ever got in fighting game history, to be honest, was Leroy.
like, yeah,
Leroy to me, the way he was designed and everything, he looked. Number one, he looked like one of us. And number two is like Leroy's like like his the inspiration that he gave to a lot of different people that I knew never touched Tekken at all, never even thought about playing Tekken at all, was just like, yo, how can I get my hands on this game? Because Leroy looked so cool. His design was so cool. He was the best fight. Like yeah, when he came out, he was busted and everybody was angry. But if you remember, before he initially came out, how excited
yeah,
everybody was for the character. We ain't never have that much excitement for a new character ever again. And that was an original made character,
yeah,
originally designed character
yeah.
that did fight within the physics of Tekken. He it's just certain shit was just busted with him. He still had hand to hand combat. Yeah, he had a parry that was broken. His damage was crazy. He was easy. He was easy to play, but at the same time, he didn't have a sword. He didn't have air combos. He didn't have all this extra stuff. He just fought you. He just used hands and feet on you. Yeah, he had a dog that came out. He had a cane that he can only use through rage drive, but the dog took hella long to come out, and he had to have rage to use the cane.
Yeah. But I think they've been pushing in that direction for a minute. Like when it comes to
Yeah,
like black characters, because I was surprised when I seen Kimberly in Street Fighter. I'm
yeah,
like, oh, she actually look like a black girl. Okay,
yeah.
she got
It's
the
like
braids and everything.
I just think they need to. I think they take the easier route and they just be like, all right, we just gonna bring a character to a whole nother game instead of designing a new character for the game to be DLC because it's easier to take another design and just design it than to just design something from the ground up.
Yeah, because that's
Like
what
so, it's,
because I know a lot of people are pissed off with Street Fighter for the Terry and Mai being in there. Because people are like, well, why don't we get Street Fighter characters that we haven't seen for a while? Why don't we get Remy in here? Characters like that from Third Strike.
yeah,
Why don't we bring Dudley back? Because he hasn't been in the game since 4.
yeah,
But once you see it, it's like, okay, you put those two in there because you got a crossover going on with Fatal Fury.
yeah.
But that next season, I'm hoping that it's gonna be all Street Fighter characters.
Yeah, like I'm hoping the same too because it's like even though I do like playing Ryu and DJ, I just want to play another character that may be fun. You know what I'm saying? Like I want for the first time me play with a character that don't really got a projectile. Like that I think that's fun. So it's like if Dudley come in the game, I might really sit back and learn Dudley because I want to play with a character that doesn't have a projectile or even get Yang back or like just a whole different type of character like that looks like very fun to play because I'm not gonna lie, like in Street Fighter 5 I felt like Zeku looks very cool. His combos look very dope too. I thought he was very creative.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
I,
it's just like that would have been a character that I really would want to learn, but I just don't like Street Fighter 5.
well, yeah, you're not alone in that in that one right there.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't gonna say that because lately people have been going back to Street Fighter 5 and saying, you know what, this game may not have been as bad as we thought it was. And
I
like,
mean, towards the end of its cycle, it was very creative and a lot of stuff made sense. In the beginning, though, hell no.
nah, at the beginning that game was bare bones. Like
Yeah,
it was no. At the time, I'm kind of glad I waited to buy it because I bought the championship edition. Because I'm like, when I saw the reviews, and I'm like, there's nothing in this game to do besides just play online and play survival mode. Like, that's not worth $60.
It wasn't like I got it in the beginning, and it really was not. It was not worth it. Not end up getting the PS4 just to play the game.
Mhm. But then now, but now Street Fighter Six is having the opposite effect.
Yeah, Street
People,
Fighter Six to me was a good game from the jump.
yeah, but people now are saying, well, not enough people are playing ranked. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, they're not playing ranked because there's so much other stuff to do in Street Fighter Six. It's like, so
Yeah,
you can't have it both ways. You can't
yeah,
say you want more stuff for people to do, and then when people stop playing ranked as much, start complaining about the fact that there's not that many people in ranked.
yeah. Plus, I think people in attention spans are very low. That play like Street Fighter Six are very low. So it's like some people are waiting for a new character to come out, and the game will spike, and then after like I guess 2 3 weeks they'll stop playing again. So it's like like versus like somebody playing an older game, they constantly playing it because this is what they really like. Street Fighter Six, they really like it, but I think their attention spans is very low. Not everybody, but a good majority of the especially the new players. I think their attention span is very low.
Yeah, because I'm probably gonna be picking up. Was it Guilty Gear? Which one was it? It's which one was it? I think it's the one that came out before Strive.
But yeah, so Rev 2,
Yeah,
yeah,
because I'm
like
like,
I've
it's
been
got so many characters in there that I just like, man, I want to play around with that character.
and so much creativity in that game, man. Like I was playing, like I was messing around with Answer for a little bit because I feel like Answer is the coolest design looking character in a fighting game ever made. And then like but I do main Sin in the game, and I was playing that game heavily, like super heavy. And I'm thinking about going back to it because I really do enjoy it. So it's just like that game is just so much creativity and so much stuff, but everybody's good in the game though. It's like nobody's bad in the game. Like everybody's good.
Yeah, because
So
I
it's
because
just
I've been waiting for Jam since this game got released,
yeah.
and it just seems like they're never gonna put her in the game.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think the system would fit her though. So it's just like hopefully she does. Like I like honestly like I wanted to answer to get in the game, but I don't think he's ever gonna return back because I think he looked cool. So that would probably be the character depending on how they design him and what he does. Like that could make me play Strive, but I don't know, man. Strive, I just can't do it. Like once I seen how much I played and see how much they minimized everything, I was just like, I'm not doing this. Like I just didn't like it, and I just played Rev 2. I didn't complain about it no more. I was just like, I don't got nothing to say. I'm playing Rev 2. This is what I enjoy.
So ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, so it's like if somebody was to ask me, I'd tell them why I don't like it. But if I don't like something, why am I gonna sit back and talk about it so much? You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. It's like, especially if I have, it's one thing if you want to bring awareness to certain things, that makes sense. But if I'm gonna sit back and complain about a game, complain about a game, complain about a game, then it's just like, do I like talking about what I don't like?
Yeah, well, some people do.
Yeah, it's like I don't like man, like when I tell you like I sit back and I reevaluate a lot of the stuff, I'm just like, let me just play the game I like. Like because it's so much easier to do that. Let me just create content on what I like.
Yeah,
Let me
because
let me show people why I like this game.
I would like that with Mortal Kombat One. I'm like, you know what? Instead of me just sitting around here bitching about this game, you know what? Just go play something else.
Yeah.
Like instead of just wasting my time just complaining about that game. But I'm gonna turn the floor over to you if you just have any questions or anything else.
Oh, I got a question to you because once you mentioned like a lot of new games, is there one new game in particular that you're looking forward to playing?
City of Wolves, like that
Uh,
that that game right there. The second I saw it, I'm like, that I pre-ordered. As soon as the pre-orders came open, I went ahead and pre-ordered. That game is still what 4 months out,
yeah.
and I pre-ordered it back in November. Like that game right there, that's the most. Like I can already tell, like when that game comes out, I'm dumping tons of hours into this game, and all because of a new character that they put into the game that I saw and I liked, and I said, "This character looks cool."
What character was that? Oh,
Preacher, the
the
kickboxer.
yeah, she looks very. I ain't gonna lie, she does look cool.
And I'm like, it was the same way with Street Fighter 4. Super Street Fighter 4 came out. Because I at that time I didn't even play Street Fighter. But when I
Yeah,
saw Jury made me pick that game up.
yeah,
And so when I saw her, I'm like, man, this character look dope right here. And then they were like, oh, she's the student of Joe Higashi. And somebody in my cause we did a live reaction to it. And I said she looks like Joe Higashi's student because the way she kind of plays. And that no, she's not Joe's student. I'm like, she has to be because the way she kind of like throws like little tornadoes out and stuff. And the way she kind of plays kind of is like reminiscent of Joe.
yeah,
And then they came out and basically said, "Yeah, she's a student of Joe." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, cause
yeah,
because I love that character." But that's my most anticipated game, and
yeah,
because honestly, Street Fighter, I love Street Fighter. Don't get me wrong, it's fun, but it's like I want a new challenge.
yeah. I get what you mean because like that's the new fighting game that I am looking forward to the most too. Because it's like, man, like it's so much things like just seeing the creativity of the game, and I do feel like the game is gonna be like very complex
Like, do you
because
seen the rev canceling
yeah,
the perfect
just
the
the
just
just
defend?
defense. I will say this though, the first week or two, just be prepared for how many people are gonna complain about how broken just defend is.
Yeah, that's every time.
I'm because like people aren't like, and then on top of that, I'm glad they kept it like traditional because the traditional parry in that game or just defend was tapping back. So I'm glad that they kept it traditional because in Street Fighter they made parry straight two buttons because they didn't. I guess they thought like somebody tapping forward would be too difficult for somebody to learn.
Uh,
So it's like but I'm looking forward to it because it's like you get to have an offensive tool that's wild ridiculous, and you get to have a combo system that looks wild ridiculous.
yeah,
So I was just
but
like,
I like the fact that how it's balanced though.
yeah,
Cause like you can go all out and just do a whole bunch of rev cancel, but then you're gonna basically be in burnout, and you
yeah,
can't use none of your super moves. So it still has consequences for you. You like using a lot of stuff,
yeah,
but it's like you got preacher, and my is like one of my favorite characters from KOF. Like no
yeah,
matter every time I play a KOF, no matter what my team comp is, she's always in there. She's always point.
yeah,
So it's like I'm getting a lot of characters that I want to play. I I kind of irritated that they wasted two slots on Ken and Chung Li, but I get it. Y'all trying to do a crossover. Y'all been going for how many years since it's been a Fatal Fury game? It
it's been a long time, but the last one was probably Mark of the Wolves.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I get it. You trying to hype up, get Street Fighter people to come over, which they'll come over for a little bit, see how the game is, see that it's not Street Fighter. You can't drive rush your way out of everything. And then they'll, like you said, they'll play for about a month, and then they'll go back to Street Fighter, and then
yeah,
you'll know where your player base is at.
yeah.
But like that, like I said, that game is the only one that I'm really just like hyped up for and can't wait to play. But if you, I don't know, well, Paul, you ain't really a mech fan, are you?
Uh, I'm not a what a Met fan. You talking about baseball?
I know mecha, like
Mecca, Mecca.
like robots and stuff.
No, I don't like. No, 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 no.
Oh no, I'm about to tell you, it's a what's a mech break. Like if you was into it, I said that game is crazy. Just the way the whole match goes.
Yeah, like I gotta look it up to see what it's like. But I could say, well, Mark of the Wolves. I'm looking forward to the creativity of the game and to really just to learn something new. Because with KOF 15, I really do enjoy it. I'm actually thinking about going back to play it. Like not even thinking, I am gonna go back to play it because I just like I like the complexity of the combos because I feel like that will definitely get your execution up. You playing that game because your execution has to be on point. And I feel like and they have added some dope stuff to KOF 15 that is really good. So I'm looking forward to going back to that. But then, man, the City of Wolves is just looking dope, man. They had a trailer for one of the characters that I tried in Mark of the Wolves and City of Wolves. So it's just like one of the twins that do like Taekwondo with the fire. Like
Oh,
I was waiting for his trailer. Dawn.
Don, yeah, Don Kim.
Yeah, so it's just like I was waiting for him, so it's just like I'm glad that he's in the game. If not, I was gonna play with the same shorty that you were playing because she looks very dope, and I always like Joe in every single KOF game. And 15, I played him in KOF 2002. I played him also, so it's just like with Kim is not Kim. With Joe. Joe's a character that I always liked. I always felt like the tornadoes and the kicks was really dope. So I just I just always had some type of love for the character. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that game the most. 2X KO I'm not gonna play, but I'm looking forward to what the tournaments is gonna be like for the game. So just watching it and
Like
seeing
you
what's
didn't like the
gonna.
way it played.
I for me, I like a fighting game to have inputs for the most part. If I'm gonna play a 2D game, so and not having inputs kind of make me feel like I don't really want to get into it. But
I can understand. Like it's I'm in between on that game. It like say I think it's free to play. I
it
think
is.
so. It's like I kind of like I might pick it up, but at the same time, I'm like it feels like that game is gonna be a lot of BS. Just the way the system works and supers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like I'm because the beta didn't really sell me on it. But I was like, well, maybe if they put out another beta, you can kind of see if they refined the system a bit and what they changed, and maybe they did some things to make it a bit better.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You said that was the only one you were looking forward to. Like, what game?
Yes.
What game would you want them to bring back that they haven't?
Um.
Because I know you like Bloody Roar.
Yeah. Like that's one game that I really would like for them to bring back. Like, cause I really do. I really do love that game, and I love everything about that game. Like it was one of the games that I grew up playing as a kid. So it's just like I would want them to bring that back. But I'm trying to think of like an obscure game that I really do like. They just that they haven't. I gotta think like cause I know it's a lot of games that I do a lot of fighting games that I do like. I just can't think of anything right now. Um, yeah, I can't think of because it's a lot of fighting games that I like. Which fighting game would I want them to bring back? Um, I gotta see. I gotta think. I gotta think.
Because I definitely know.
Probably.
I about to say I definitely know the one I would want them to bring back.
What game would you want them to bring back?
DOA.
Yeah, I think six was actually pretty good. I just think people got lost in the. I think people got lost in. How can I say this? I think people, um, not even how can I say this? I'm be real with you. People just wanted to see titties. That's what I feel like people got lost in. I'm be real with you. That's what it was. It wasn't. It wasn't the six was not a bad game, and I know somebody that plays six. Six was not a bad game. I just think they alleviated all the broken stuff that was in
DOA 5.
that yeah that was in DOA 5 and they didn't like it. Like you had an offensive and defensive tool that was equally broken.
I've never understood what the community, excuse me, what the community has against DOA. It's just like for some reason the FGC just kind of just hates that game, and I'm like, well, back in the day when there was no Street Fighter, DOA was like the biggest game out there. It was on ESPN. It had its own show on G4. So I'm
Yeah.
like, why exactly does everybody seem to hate this game? And I'm like, is it
All
just
right.
because of the way the women were dressed that you like you didn't even have to pick those costumes if you didn't want to?
Yeah. Well, I will say, all right, I found the game. The game that I do want to come back is Project Justice. I
Mm.
would want a new project. I do would want a new Project Justice game. So I could say
Okay.
that like that's something new that I will want.
Shit, okay.
Is definitely
Cause
yeah.
that
So it's just
it
like
because that would definitely because right now I think is the best time for a lot of these games to revitalize their franchises.
yeah. So it's like or like a new Darkstalkers game.
I thought Capcom was going to do that when they put out the fighting game collection with Darkstalkers and all that stuff on there. I thought they were trying to gauge the popularity for maybe a return to that series, but it's kind of just been radio silent on that side.
Yeah. So it's just like or like even like a traditional fighter, but a traditional fighter, but let it be Gundam. I think that'd be dope. Like have like have a 2D Gundam fighter game. I think that'd be dope because they did it back in the day.
Yeah.
They just haven't done it now, and I think that'd be dope. But just gauging off of like playing like Tetsunoko versus Capcom and playing like a character like Tekka Man Blade or Tekka Man, and they were like Gundams. So having like that type of style of a game, but it being Gundam, I think that would be kind of dope if they was to return and make a game like that, or just do something creative and give us like a Thundercat fighting game. I think that would be fire.
Oh, what's
Like make
they did the what is it the action figure fighting game? What is it called? Damn, I can't remember what his name is. But it's like they did one with like action, like He Man and all them like action figures like that fighting against each other.
yeah. Oh yeah, and another game I'm looking forward to that everybody forgot that I forgot too. A lot of people don't remember this shit either because it's like a lot of people don't. It was like an indie developer and it was an indie developer and it was gonna be an indie developed game that turned into a major game because somebody had picked it up. It's a game called Serial Killers, and it was being developed. It was all like cereal like food cereal characters fighting each other. But they were named something different, but you could tell who was who. Like you tell, like there was Tony the Tiger, was this, it was that. It was looking very creative, but then like a major like AAA company picked it up, so now they're really in development of it. That's a game that I'm really looking forward to.
Well, you brought something to mind because I never even heard of that one.
Yeah, like they were first, they were making like a indie fighting game, but like a major company got behind it. So now it's like they're really working on the game. So it's like that. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm just looking forward to like video games in general. Like I think it's a lot of video games that's really dropping that I'm really looking forward to. Like this Sega collection, I can't wait for it. I get to play like a up to date like a reimagined Jet Set Radio game, a reimagined Crazy Taxi game, and all these other games that's gonna be on the Sega collection. I'm just looking forward to it. Like I'm looking forward to that. I just I just can't wait, man. There's a lot of games that I'm definitely looking forward to.
Oh yeah, they definitely, especially with the Game Awards and stuff last night, they announced a lot of games for 2025.
Yeah, like I didn't get a chance to watch the Game on Awards because I was at work on Thursday, but my homies was watching it, and it was like, and I seen like a new Pac-Man trailer, but it's like Metroid. I'm like, what's going on?
Oh yeah, that's the one I said. Cause me and my friend we were watching it. He's like, man, what is this? It's like, oh, it's a Pac-Man game, but it's like kind of like Metroid, like you said. It's like Metroid Dread almost.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, that's how you reinvent a game. Instead of just doing the same thing over and over again, actually put a different twist on it.
yeah,
Well, it's like, what's that? They did what a new Tour Rock. It was so many games that they announced for 2025 that I was like, I was surprised about how many games were coming out.
yeah,
But I don't want to hold you up too much longer because I know you said Saturday you used to be your busy day.
yeah.
But let people know where they can find you at.
You can find me on you can find me on almost everything. You can find me on Twitter at underscore palm215. You can find me on Twitch if you want to support at palm215. You can find me on YouTube palm215. Instagram Palm215. You can find me literally anything Palm215. Most likely it's me, and that's where you can definitely find me at. So if you want to support me, just if you want to support me, come by the stream and you can support that. I'm also on TikTok at Palm215 also. So if you want to support me, just come by the streams or even come by like the YouTube page. I appreciate all any and all the support. Rather, you retweet or you come by and watch the stream, or we can get some sets in and play something if you want to play like Third Strike or any other fighting game. Because I play multiple different fighting games. I don't only play Third Strike or play Street Fighter or Tekken. I got into Blaze Blue. I play that. I play Rev 2. I play damn, I play a lot of shit. This is gonna be hard for me to name everything, but I play a little bit of everything. Like like I should just talk about what I don't play because that's probably a smaller list than compared to how much shit I do play. But I play a myriad of many different fighting games as long as it's fun I play it, and I play a myriad of many different games as long as it's fun that I play it. But yeah, those are the places that you can find me.
Yeah, and I'll make sure that I try to put it down in the description down below so they can just click down there and move. But I definitely
Yeah.
appreciate your time and you coming over to the show.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's an honor to be here, man. And
Yeah.
keep doing your thing, man. You're doing the community. You're doing a community effort, and we need more people like this.
Oh yeah,
That's doing what you do.
and I do plan to come out to Philly.
Yeah,
Like I gotta find out when y'all tournaments are being held.
yeah. Normally, cause the organization that I work with, they normally throw a tournament, a Street Fighter tournament. Like they throw a monthly Street Fighter tournament. It's normally every second week of the month. It's normally every second Saturday of the month. It's always a turn. It's always a Street Fighter 6 tournament.
Okay, so I'm definitely gonna have to make my way out there
Yeah.
and just get because I think uh what's in the Abby? I think doesn't Abby stay in Philly?
No, Abby stay in Maryland.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know why I would think he was in Philly. Was
Because me and Abby met, but me and Abby was but I went to Maryland for the tri-state event because the people that I the group that I'm a part of, Shadow Royalty, they don't only do tournaments within the city. They try to do creative stuff like do like tri-state events, like do like a 5v5. So like they'll have like a five players from our city versus the five players from a whole nother city,
yeah.
and we'll do stuff like that. So we might go to like last time we went to Maryland and we had a 5v5 and Tekken and Street Fighter, along with having like an open bracket with everybody in it. So we'll do stuff like that. I know the next one I think we're trying to do is Boston. So it's just like we're gonna be traveling a little bit everywhere. You never know. We might do Atlanta at one point. You never know.
But you definitely hit me up if y'all come to Atlanta. Because
I
like I
got you.
said, you got
Cause
404 Esports. We got Max Mode. It's in April of this year.
yeah,
And that's like that's basically taking the place of final round down here. Basically like the once a year major for the city. And I think we had Chris G came last time. We had a couple other players come from like out of town like that.
yeah,
And it was actually pretty good. I actually had more fun at that event than I did at like CEO.
yeah.
So and I'm looking forward to the fact that they were able to make enough money that where they could put it on again.
That's true, man. It's so wild because it's like for me, like even though I have been at a major before, I've been to a lot of locals. I only been to one major, but even though I've been to a major before, I've like going to locals. To me, I get the same feeling that I get at a major at a local. It's just that at majors, there's probably more to do because it's multiple different days. But I have fun either way. And to me, the best, if I'm gonna talk about like events that I have went to, the best event that I went to so far was the Red Bull qualifiers. The Red Bull qualifier was like it felt like a major, but it had like it had like local, not just local talent, but it also had like a local vibe to it. It
Mm.
was I hope Red Bull bring the qualifiers back, man. Like, cause that energy was definitely different.
Because I think what they doing Kumite up there in New York.
Yeah,
But I think they kind of trying to make it more like like I said, invitation only.
Yeah.
instead of basically doing the qualifiers, because those were kind of like crazy time when they were doing doing those.
Yeah.
But I say I'm gonna let you go, bro. So I hope you have a good day and the rest of your day,
You too, man.
and
And like I
keep
said,
keep up the good work, bro. Cause like you doing like some incredible things.
thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, no problem, bro.